It is once again time to prepare your mind for another edition of Weekly Weird.
This is a straight up banger, Patrick.
Pretty sure they heard you say that. They definitely heard me say this.
Don't listen to us. We're
Don't
not talking to
listen.
you
We're
guys
not
yet.
talking yet. We're not
We're
talking.
talking
Oh,
to-
and welcome.
We're talking to each other, not you guys. Get out of here.
Welcome back, guys, to another Weekly Weird with the Weirdos ourselves. My name is Dio, otherwise known as Dio TV. Over there. There. Sorry, three-dimensional space
Here.
is hard in a two-dimensional plane. Yes, this is the one, the oldest, the strongest, the manliest, Patrick.
Hi there.
And one more that way is the
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, it's totally not grinning. Oh, he is grinning. And okay, do your best. There it is. Yes.
I have to get all the teeth.
That's right. I totally did not make a problematic picture of Jim slightly earlier for this stream. Definitely did not happen. With his beautiful, beautiful smile. We can do that. That's Jim Hickcox, guys.
Oh, hi.
We're back. It's Weekly Weird. We're talking about weird stuff. Guys, did you guys get up to anything weird in the morning? Or this week? Would you get up into anything weird this week?
Are you referencing something from the pre-interview that I should remember?
No. I'm
did some weird
straight
shit.
up asking you. No, what do you
I'm not
mean?
gonna share it.
What do you mean pre-interview? We don't talk before the stream. That's unprofessional.
Dio has producers interview us before. He doesn't talk to us until the stream starts. He has
That's right.
producers who talk to us and make sure we know, we're all ready.
Welcome in, guys. Yes, it's true. Guys, weirdos in the chat. Welcome in, Brady. Welcome in, Guncrafter Scrav. That's Jim. He's here. Mika, thank you guys for being here.
You're welcoming me in.
Yeah, Jim, get out of here. Get out of the chat and into my car.
And into my car.
Welcome in. My mom saw a skin when she was little. I don't know.
I see skin every day, Doug.
I
know.
Look at me. Look at me right now.
So much
Look at these
skin.
fish bellies, dude. Look at them.
Punch my microphone.
You
They're
are
blinding, dude.
Yeah, you are doing like solar flare. No longer your birthday, Mika, but happy birthday to you. Mika, long time DOT
Post birthday.
That's right. Welcome to the other side of 36, I believe. Skinwalker, I'm tired. I forgot to type words. No worries, Guncrafter. That is spookadelic, though. But we're not talking about skinwalkers this week.
Have your mom call in later.
Yeah, that's
In
right.
about an hour, make
Yeah.
your mom call in.
That's
I want
right.
to talk to your mom. I would like to talk to your mom. Please make your mom call me. Your mother has
Whoa.
not called me.
Whoa, Jim. Whoa. 20% off.
I don't know why she's not talking to me anymore.
Jesus Christ.
Please have your mother call me.
Man has built-in flashlights. All right, Jim. Jim is coming off
Mrs.
thirsty
Guncrafter,
today.
please call.
Hi, is this Miss Guncrafter?
Is this Mom Crafter?
Mom
Crafter.
Crafter. We had like somebody in the chat. I think they're on YouTube. Like there's a mom of something on YouTube. Anyway, I'm sorry. We're getting so off. We're off topic already. We haven't even talked about topic. There's a smiling man over there. We're going to talk about Indrid Cold today. But first,
We promised last week, we queued you up for Men in Black, but really that was just a scam that I was perpetuating to try to get Dio to Photoshop my head onto Tessa Thompson's body. It didn't work. But you gotta hustle where you can.
he wasn't happy with Josh
Someday.
Brolin, so.
Yeah.
Edgy, welcome
is?
in.
What up, Edgy?
For people who might be their first time joining me on a late Friday night, this is the Weekly Weird. We talk about cryptids and weird stuff. And so the first thing we do every week, and I still haven't made a graphic for it, is we talk about this week in weird. Jim, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I'm dancing to the theme song. You guys can't hear the theme song, but it's it's so good.
It's a week in weird. This is why Patrick does all the music, because it sounds like this when I do it. Sorry, what?
Our first story.
Thanks for that banger, Dio.
You know what? You're welcome. Our first story. Sorry.
UFOs seen over Brazil.
Yes.
This story is from Curitiba, Brazil. Sorry, everybody. It comes from One India News, published August 3rd. This is I mentioned this last week. It was a video from Brazil.
Oh.
I had the story. I couldn't find the video. This is the video. It's okay. I'm just riffing. It is via the news channel One India. So they've overlaid some stuff and they kind of edit a little. They repeat the video a little bit. But it's the best version that I've found.
Do you want
so
sound
there's
on or off?
No,
this, Jim.
It doesn't matter.
Let's
we
just
don't need
get
no
it.
sound.
Let's just get it in. Look at
We're
that!
just looking. I like they put those arrows pointing at it.
That's right. Where the arrow's there, it's like, oh my god. Oh hi.
Clearest alien seen in history.
Right?
Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, where is it? I don't.
That's it. What is it?
Oh wow.
That's a UFO. That's a flying saucer. Even that's a classic of the
It is
genre.
saucer-like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is saucer-like, and yet also triangle-shaped.
Yeah, it's true.
It's
hitting
got
all-
the two.
You know what? It's really
major-
Flight of the Navigator shaped.
And that's what I was thinking too. It does look like Flight of
Yeah.
the Navigator. Shout out to a great
Yeah.
movie.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know, Patrick. What do you think about that one?
It looks like a runaway kite.
No.
I mean, that would be.
Hard disagree.
What does it? No way.
I mean, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. It resembles a kite. It kind of looks translucent.
Mhm.
It's kite shaped. I even thought I saw little tail things.
It does
Towards the
feel
top.
slightly translucent. Yes. Oh hell! Someone actually saw me. Crap. Thanks, Gav.
Is that
They
you?
not only
That's
saw you,
Steve?
they circled you. All
Yeah.
right.
But that-
Look at those
It's
arrows.
so
They
clear,
found you
though.
hard.
It is a
It
really
is very
clear.
clear.
This is I know was it last week where I was knocking fucking most UFO this one
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
went right for it.
There,
Yeah,
there is a zoom, but it's all right. It's just in.
yeah.
Just in once, and then we're there.
Mm-hmm.
And this you can
It does
see
cut
the
off earlier than
stabilizer
maybe I would
working.
want it to. Sure, yeah,
True.
they're trying.
Yeah. This is how you know it's definitely a kite. 'Cause the video is really good. Definitely a kite. Oh my god. It does look very Flight of the Navigator. I do.
It does.
It looks.
I-
It's
yeah.
very clear.
By means
It
of
also-
I like that.
by means
It
of
does look
comparison.
like it's not rotating in three-dimensional space in any way at all. Like it is just a real two-dimensional thing.
Yeah. Was it? There you go. See, this is what we're talking about. This bad boy.
Yeah, look
It
at
looks
that
like
bad.
that
Oh,
ship.
oh.
Yeah. Right?
Is that movie? Has anyone watched Flight of the Navigator in the last 25 years?
I used to
Does
watch
it
this
hold
movie
up?
constantly. Like like seriously, I had like a VHS tape with this
Yeah.
on it, and
Yeah.
like the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie on it, like some like
Great.
early Disney Channel. My dad
Let's-
stealing shit.
Let's cancel the show, watch that VHS tape,
yeah,
and eat
Yes.
cereal.
I'm
Yeah,
totally
I'm-
down.
dude, I'm so down. There's
Okay, great.
The
Weekly
we
Everyone
watch,
get your sleeping bags.
right. Listen, it could be a
Edgy
10.
says that could have been a 10. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
yeah.
Tents do get.
Could it
pretty-
be?
pretty big air?
It
Sure. Could it be a tent full of aliens? Could be.
Listen, what else is a UFO if not a tent full of aliens?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly.
Great. Well, that's the.
All right, from CNN, August 2nd. We got a story out of St. James Parish, Jamaica. There's some backstory here. One of the most famous ghosts haunting Jamaica is the White Witch, Annie Palmer. She was born to British parents in Haiti in the early 1800s. They say that her nanny, because she was very bougie, was a local woman who taught her obeah, which is, like what you call voodoo if you're not being a dick. Um, she met John Palmer, who owned a sugarcane plantation in Jamaica, and they got married. She then murders him to gain ownership of the plantation. And then subsequently marries and murders 2 other husbands. A lot of her story about how she's awful is like honestly pretty straightforward chattel slavery stuff. She spends a lot of time sitting on her overlooking the fields and riding a horse down to abuse people who aren't working hard enough. She takes male slaves as forced lovers, and then when she gets bored of them, she also murders them. 1834, slavery is officially abolished in Jamaica. Separate from that, around the same time, Annie, who practices obeah, has placed a curse on either the son-in-law or the son of one of her slaves named Taku. It depends on who you listen to, if it's a son-in-law or a son. In revenge, he murders her with a machete. Because magic is great, but cold hard steel also pretty good.
Listen, this is like, this is every time I'm picking a D&D character, this is my metric. It's like, do I want to throw a fireball? Or maybe I just want to get up in there with the big, jungle cutting sword and just get rid of it. Just get rid of it, Good for him, exactly.
Edgy, good for him. They also burn the whole house down as sort of a celebration. And it's abandoned for years. 1960s, a businessman from Delaware comes in and buys the property, of course. Renovates it, builds, of course, a golf course.
That's why
many
I was
members
seeing
of
all those people hitting golf clubs, or hitting golf balls with golf clubs.
Yes, not with machetes. They should be macheteing the golf balls.
That would make the game way better.
Yeah,
so much better.
That would be how much more fun would golf be to watch?
Oh my god, yeah. Trying to hit a ball with a machete. Also, the ball's a cantaloupe.
Yes, exactly.
Did we just?
And the hole is my mouth.
Better sport.
Did we just invent Fruit Ninja, guys? Like, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, fair enough.
The tourists have been pushed by the icy hands of a ghost. Many members of the staff say that they've had run-ins with the White Witch. Photographs have had orbs in them. There's a lot of people who swear that the place is haunted by Annie Palmer. This news story is actually refuting. It's saying that investigative reporter Benjamin Radford is claiming that the idea of Annie Palmer that we know and love never really existed. She's an amalgamation of a different Mrs. Palmer who only murdered 2 husbands, and Annie Palmer who murdered John and then got kicked out when he died of the estate and didn't actually get to live there. A Rosa Palmer who had 4 husbands die but didn't murder any of them. And a novel from 1928 called The White Witch of Rose Hall that sort of riffs them all together. It seems like largely it's based on the novel. In fact, if you click the next link is to the Amazon page of the novel. I'm not recommending that anyone buy the book or buy anything from Jeff Bezos except for a subscription to Dio through your Bezos bucks.
Thank you,
my man. Yeah,
that's right. You have free sub with Twitch Prime
to Dio TV.
That's right.
If you do scroll down though, you the reviews are interesting because they seem largely like people think the book is real. This book gives you in detail what happened, or very good insight of what happened all those years ago. Very enlightening on the 19th century West Indies. It's part of my history based on my country, Jamaica.
Brilliant book. Love it.
Also, if you get onto the
Going
first
through the reviews
from other countries, you get some other person's ghost story. On arriving at Rose Hall, the restored plantation house on the north coast of Jamaica, I noticed a number of white stone boxes on the front lawn. Not knowing what they were, I approached them. One had a white cross painted on it, so I headed for it. About 25 feet from the box, I was astonished to be stopped by what seemed an invisible force field. I turned around this thing. I tried to turn around this thing? I don't know, but couldn't proceed. The chills went up my back. He backs off, goes back to the tour. Anyway, it seems like people really buy into it.
Listen. I mean, people will trust anything if it's bound in a book, as we talked about during Skinwalker Ranch. If it's between 2 covers and the cover looks kind of cool, and this one does.
It does. It's a decent cover.
Real cool.
It's a decent cover. Yeah. I'm sorry. Did he say an invisible force field
Yeah.
as opposed to a visible force field?
Yeah, as opposed to a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. We're on the same
Like a
page.
Star Wars force field, you know.
Oh, that's true. Sometimes
I
they like
guess-
glow.
Yeah, made of lasers.
I would argue that's not a force field. It's not real. But
Unlike the White Witch, you're right.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
And the
Also-
invisible force field. Yeah.
Who's this guy just being like the
Who's
most-
this guy?
Who's this guy who's saying the White Witch doesn't exist? Okay, like who is this guy just being a big old spoil sport? On,
sure.
On doing his research and Patrick.
I mean, his name's Benjamin Radford, and he travels around debunking ghosts.
I like this guy.
God damn it.
I love
listen,
this guy.
Listen, all your research and all of your facts, all right? I'm just saying, I'm more fun at parties, even if I am
Sure.
just shouting to myself in a corner, okay? Like,
Yeah, Benjamin Radford probably awful at parties. You start telling a good story, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, tell me, give me the details." That doesn't sound realistic.
No.
You say you were in an apartment on the 3rd floor. Then how did you tip the pizza man?
Yeah. No, I don't
Quit
like it.
stepping on my story, Ben Radford.
For real. Like get your own get your own story. Go somewhere other than a book for
Yeah.
your story.
Yeah, go love something else.
Dick.
All right. I'm glad we showed him.
Yeah. Taught him what. Cute human interest story. I don't know if anyone cares. Morgantown, West Virginia. The local library. It's West Virginia. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. We're going to talk about it more this week. It is the home of a ton of cryptids. The local libraries doing free art classes for kids based around
That's
drawing
awesome.
cryptids, taught by local artist Elisha Rush,
Just
who likes drawing
great.
cryptids.
They're just fostering the imaginative minds of future DOs and Jims. Not
Yeah.
Patrick's though. Patrick's
Not Patrick's.
been waiting outside to
No.
bait them up for their art supplies.
Brady, you live right there. Go learn to draw cryptids. Go learn to draw,
There you go.
and then submit your pictures on the DO scored.
That's
and call in.
right, Brady. There you go, buddy. Time to learn how to play. Should we play this video, or no?
No.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it'll just tell you the same
I'm-
things I just told
I'm
you.
Gotcha.
interested to know what cryptid those things are. that I'm
I think
seeing.
those
Like,
are
what is
Oh, that is a
flatwood
weird one, right?
monsters. I think those are
Oh, it does kinda
flatwoods
look flat.
monsters. Yeah. If I
Oh,
know
they are very
my
flat.
They're super flat. And wood, maybe.
Sure.
Hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, cardboard. I
I
guess
think those are
was
flat
wood
wood
once.
monsters.
Wow.
Ooh.
Hold on.
The
I think that
window
deserves
creaking
a.
out. I hate that.
That would have been the best dick answer. They're flat wood monsters, Patrick. Shut up. Stop asking questions.
Well, all right then. Dude, my friends and I have gone out at night all the time, and we have seen some real weird shit. Hell
West
yeah.
Virginia, juicy stuff.
There you
Call in
go.
in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, in about 40 minutes, our phone lines open up. There will be a number on the screen. You could call in, and we'll talk to you. We'd love to hear ghost stories, experiences about West Virginia. Anybody. This is open to anybody. It doesn't have to be on topic. It could be about
Only
anything.
Brady.
Only Brady.
Just Brady.
But
Everyone else stop calling me.
that's fucking cool, man.
Unless you're someone's mom. Whose mom was I yelling at earlier?
Mom crafter. Yeah.
Moms,
Please,
moms and
leave
Brady's.
us, Mom.
Give me a
Leave!
call.
Get out of here, Jim. You give the poor kid a complex.
Goa, India.
Oh.
Goa, India. Popular tourist destination. Via the Goa Chronicle. It's actually from April 8, but I just saw it. And we weren't on the air April 8, so give me some slack.
Wait, those are the rules? I could
You
cheat like
jerks.
that. God damn it. Okay, fair enough. I could be cheating.
Just be mad. If you can cheat as long as you're indignant about it.
God bless America.
That's how it works. The Manahar International Airport completed December 11, 2022. Started service in January 2023. It is believed to be haunted. Runway lights
By that
malfunctions.
fucking statue? Sorry. I'm sorry. What am I
Yeah,
looking
by that
at?
kooky old statue.
What the fuck am I looking at?
Goa's
Really?
it's like tourist beachy area. People go there and they're
Okay, all right.
like white people. White people like to hang out in
Got it.
Goa.
Got it.
Believed to be haunted. Runway lights malfunction. Strange sounds come through the announcement system. Nobody knows why. Some local employees refuse to stay past 10:30 p.m. Why 10:30 p.m.? Unclear to me. Might be a local, maybe something. That's when the witching hour there. I don't know. People hear whispers in the departure lounge. People have claimed to see ghosts in the baggage claim, presumably waiting for baggage that never arrived.
Ooh.
This has been an issue for the last couple of years. It has become a municipal issue in that locals are refusing to work past 10:30, and it's an international airport. It's open all night. The government of Goa, as a way to combat this, has pulled together a team called the G-Files, which feels like a riff on X-Files, which feels like they're just committing to it being a lark. It is led by he's like a, I don't remember what the term is, alderman. He's on their like council. He is a politician, a guy named Digambar Kamat. I'm sure I said that wrong. Who has previously made claims that he can converse with gods and goddesses.
Oh. Which ones? Wow. All of them?
Hindu ones.
Gotcha.
The team under him plans to use midnight vigils, direct divine inquiry, and more modern scientific approaches like thermal cameras and EVP recorders, which I assume is just a tape recorder, to try to suss out the spirits that are plaguing the
yes, the
airport.
classic paranormal equipment. Yes. Very scientific. Jim, so you said this is a thing. I just want to, I saw something on the
government.
page.
The government
I saw
is
something
doing
on
this.
the page. I just
is it
wanna,
a goo?
It says satire by Savio. Is this
Did I just get...
Is this like an Indian onion?
Did it?
Did you just get got? Boom!
Did I get got? Oh, maybe. I coulda.
I don't know.
I mean, I did look up the dude, and he does... Oh, yeah, it does say satire. Maybe this is all a joke. Oh, it's like that one guy that publishes in the New York Times, and it's always a dumb joke. I hate that guy.
Well, fuck you, Savio. Sorry, I should have waited till we were off air to point this out, but
no, fact check me.
I'm
glad to be fact checked.
Real time fact check. This is way better than any kind of debate you might see for certain elections.
Yeah.
We live fact check. We hold ourselves
Guys,
accountable.
shut me down. If I'm spewing, if I'm ever saying anything on this show that isn't 100% real, I want someone to come at me and let me know. Because
I promise.
Most of 90% of what we say is 100% real.
That was some like Sex Panther statistics right there. 90% of the time, I'm 100%.
I did look up that guy, and he does talk to gods.
Oh.
So that one part of the story is real.
Right.
I confirmed that because I was like, sorry, what are they talking about?
So it confirmed God talker.
Please
welcome in,
explain
Nightwing,
yourself.
by the way. Welcome
At least
in.
the superpowers are real.
What the what?
The god talking superpowers, at least those are real.
Sure. And the airport stuff is also real. I also confirmed all that. So I guess the fake part is that there's a government office that's using vigils to try to clear the ghosts. But it is a municipal issue that people are refusing to hang out in a haunted airport. And by hang out, I mean work. For one more. Let me drop one more on you. It's another UFO. This one in India. Why are all my stories from India? Because they're the most populous country in the world. Stop asking dumb questions.
That's right. I mean, by the math, they would have the most, like
Sightings.
aliens would have the most reasons to visit India.
Yeah, population density, baby. This is from Nagpur, reported in the India Times, August 5th. There's a video at the bottom of the page, which it's uploaded to Instagram. I think if you click through to Instagram somehow.
Oh,
longer.
Jesus, that's so loud. But sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm not.
Oh my God, how do I turn that down? I want to show guys. Just hold on to your ears, okay? Ready? Are we all in this together? 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right. We got through it, guys. We got through it together.
We did that.
It appears to show a collection of UFOs swirling in a circle.
Yeah, very quickly.
Real
Super
fast.
quickly.
I do think it's longer if you get to it on Instagram. I don't know if that makes it sound better or worse.
Yeah,
or
click through.
anything.
I want to see it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now I can actually.
Can we be bigger?
I can try. Yes, we have bigger.
Yes. There we go.
Try again. There we go.
This one. Speaking of your complaints about the videos, Dio, this one feels not fabricated to me. This feels like a genuine video of a genuine thing that is happening in an actual sky.
Yeah, I
To
agree.
my eyeballs.
That is
Yeah.
actually happening in the sky.
So
for sure.
aliens.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure the aliens were just really attracted to whatever event was happening over in that direction that may or may not have involved lights blasting out into the sky. Yes. Never mind.
What do you mean lights blasting out into the sky, Dio? Those lights are in the sky.
I would.
You know, have you ever seen those light shows that happen on Christmas where all those little drones go out and they coordinate?
Yes.
This is nothing like that.
This is no. Yeah, you're right. This is nothing like that.
I mean, it's a lot like that in that those are little human-made crafts out
Mhm.
zipping around shining lights, and these are little alien-made crafts that are zipping
Exactly.
around.
There's
Right,
the
potentially
biggest-
drones.
da-da-da.
Potentially drones.
Yeah, alien drones.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to up their LED game, though.
Nightwing says it reminds him of alien drone shows in Japan.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
I don't know what
okay.
that means,
don't know
but
what
it
that
sounds
means.
like corroboration. That
The-
sounds like.
Mika
sounds like
says the
Nightwing knows
tripods
about
are
other
coming,
aliens.
and I say bring them on.
The tripods.
Yeah, the tripids.
Oh,
The tripids.
Sure.
Yeah. IG videos always blow up my ears. I'm sorry. Well, all right. Does that? Am I? Is it me?
I mean,
Is it
I'll
my
keep
turn?
going if you want me to, but
Or
I,
you-
I think no, go. Get in there.
Oh, I'm getting in here, guys. It's all UFOs this week. Let me tell you. Okay, this first one now. You're gonna
It's
say
always UFOs, never about me FOs.
I don't know why that one's getting me. Look at this guy. This is a
I
guy
love this
who's
guy.
seen a UFO, right? Like there's no way he's not seen a UFO. All right?
Yeah, his brow's so furrowed.
Jordan, Macaracher?
Macaracker. I'm saying Macaracker.
Macaracker. Man from West Lothian in Edinburgh saw a UFO in 1974. Jim, you said this story has some fun double entendre on it. They went it went right over my head. So I'm just gonna sum it up. After 5 decades, Gordon Macaracher has opened up about a UFO encounter he had in 1974. According to Gordon, he was leaving the home of a girl he was dating, presumably after some hot Scottish sex, when he saw a brown metallic conical structure floating 100 feet above him. The objects moved silently and resembled an RV, or as described in the article, a caravan, but we all know that's just British for RV.
RV full of aliens.
Listen, I'm bringing it back. I'm telling you, the aliens are coming. They want to see that we're a tourist destination for fucking aliens, all right? Anyway, the object moves silently. Apparently, the then 17-year-old Gordon rang up the air traffic control in Edinburgh Airport, which is, I guess, a thing you could
Bold.
do in 1974.
Sure.
But the airport had no record of any craft in the area. Gordon described the craft as silently circling the area. Like many witnesses, Gordon was worried about being branded an idiot for his report, so he kept this to him for the last 50 years and now has decided that he's too old to give a shit. So
Go ahead, call him an idiot. See what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. I like this story because this is a man. I mean, look at his face. Look at this face. Like he is.
Yeah, he's harrowed.
Yeah, exactly. He's seeing some UFO. You know, the U and the F and the O is right up in there, right in that
Yeah.
face. I think they have.
I love the note.
There you go.
Who found this article? Because the note, how
Oh, I
do you
did.
not take on a story with that name in it? I love that note. That is such a good note.
True.
Macaracker.
Macaracker.
I want to say it all day.
Macaracker. What was the
See,
double entendre? Yeah.
You jumped straight to like, he was probably nailing that girl, which is you went straight through what they wrote, which is in 1974, on a brisk autumn night, Gordon says he left the cottage of a girl he was dating to travel down the road connecting Kirk Newton and East Calder. He said at 17 years old he was working Ormiston Farm, rolling, plowing fields, and enjoying his youth.
I see.
They said the same thing as you. They were just coy about it.
They were just coy
That's
about it.
right.
Got it. Listen. I'm not here for their Scottish poetry, okay? I'm here for cold, hard facts, all right? When he was nailing that chick, he finished up, said, "Baby, I'll see you later." And then was like, "Oh, fuck, there's a fucking UFO."
What is that?
Yeah, right?
But with his face.
But this face.
What a
imagine
dream.
this face. I can imagine it's just this face on like a 17-year-old body. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out there plowing fields.
yeah, that's his field plowing face right there.
Yeah, the caption: Gordon making the face he made right before he left that girl's house. Oh,
Good at this?
Okay, I'm done.
Edgy wouldn't. Edgy wouldn't.
I'd rather not. All right. Well, Edgy, it's in
Put
your
it in
brain
your
now.
mind's
And
eye.
it'll never come out.
Did you
All
hear
right.
that his name's Macaracker?
Macaracker. Yeah. What is that? How does that change it for you? All right. Next story, more UFOs. It's going to be like an all UFO week to this week.
Yeah,
UK's Ministry of Defense calls UFOs investigations a waste of taxpayer cash.
Led by Patrick?
Huh?
Said, what are they led by Patrick?
That's true. Patrick, when
Listen,
did you
bruv.
take over the MOD?
I honestly, when you first brought it up, I heard Ministry of Magic, and I was so excited.
The UK Ministry of Magic, a
Yeah.
real department in their actual government.
Is that where the line is, Patrick? Like UFO shit, you're like, get this out of here. But the moment we start talking
But
about
wizards.
magic,
Yeah, wizards,
secret UK wizards, sign me up. A MOD spokesperson candidly called UFO investigations an inappropriate use of defense with a C resources.
So British.
I know. It's honestly, this is another. Never mind. Well, I'll get to it. This is some 1984 shit. This is why America's land of the free, and we'll talk about it with the very next story. Unlike their American counterpart, it seems like the MOD don't believe there's any threat to the UK from UFOs or UAPs, which is, of course, exactly what they want you to think. All right, the UK has now opened up a weak point in Earth's defenses with an S, but insists in typical police. It's typical policing of the UK airspace will be enough to meet any threats. I say they're jeopardizing
No
us all,
way. No
and
way.
we as Americans can't stand for it. All right, get them out of NATO. Whatever we do, get them out. All right, call in Article 5.
Make
or whatever.
NATO about space.
That's right. North Space American, whatever. Just come on.
We're making a trade agreement with the aliens.
That's right. That's right.
What you gonna do, UK? You're not even part of the EU anymore,
Listen,
and we're
Jim.
trading with aliens.
We've been training with aliens since the Eisenhower administration. Okay, let's see. We'll talk about it later. We'll get to it. We'll get
Okay,
to it
yeah,
eventually.
Yeah,
Guys, I don't think they're taking this seriously. Okay, and
it seems like. Sorry.
No,
Go.
go ahead. No.
I was just agreeing with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And speaking of not taking this seriously, all right, turns out we're not taking it serious either.
Wait, who we?
We, the Pentagon. All right, the Pentagon, apparently, according to this article, came out on the Hill, written by Merrick von Rennenkampf, who is a former...
I know that guy.
Great name.
He is a disclosure advocate. He is formerly DOD and Department of State. Very, very up on the disclosure. He wrote an op-ed in the Hill, basically calling bullshit on the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO. Okay? Yeah, if you don't take this seriously, hit that follow button and get your mind blown. The AARO apparently was run by this guy named, it was, I know it's Sean Kirkpatrick, okay? And this guy didn't know his ass from his elbows, okay? He didn't know his reptilians from his Nords, from his tall whites to his grays, okay? He didn't know shit from shit, okay? Apparently he was questioned
How do you get to be in charge even?
Yeah.
What did he
honestly,
do? Is he elected?
It's no, he's appointed by the Pentagon. This is the Pentagon's...
Appointed for what reason? Don't even know you're aliens.
According to the Pentagon, he's supposed to get to the bottom of all this UAP shit, but I don't think he was even, and neither does Merrick, think that he was installed to do that. Instead, he was installed to slow up the process. All right? I will be heard.
I hear you, bro.
Thank you. Consequently, because this guy is such an idiot, he has stepped down.
If you're Kirkpatrick, tune in every week, learn a little bit about your job.
That's right, Sean. I know you're
Hit
listening.
that like and subscribe.
You and all your spook friends are listening. What was I going to say? Oh, so consequently, Senators Chuck Schumer and Mike Rounds, this is a bipartisan bill, okay? In this time of division in our country, this is a bipartisan bill. They introduced the Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon Disclosure Act to Congress. They've reintroduced it. It was previously gutted by the House Republicans, the House Congress in general. But they've reintroduced it in full. They want disclosure. They want it to happen now. This would basically it would just make disclosure happen. This is what this bill is, and it's all because everyone knows this Sean Kirkpatrick guy is a stooge. Okay,
he's sham.
He's a shill. He's a CIA op. All right, this is a psyop. He was trying to keep the truth from the people. Okay,
anyway. CIA operator in the Pentagon, unheard of.
I'm gonna let that one go. Jim. Let that one go. All right. So where were
That's
Hmm?
That's like real politics news. The Hill. The Hill's like real.
Well,
That's not a lot of these websites we're pulling from. I mean, sometimes we're hitting CNN. A lot of these websites are like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You
I don't know
know.
what you're about to say. I don't.
inclined to discuss aliens. The Hill is like political news.
Yeah. Well, that guy is legitimately was
Aggrieved.
legitimate. Well, he is definitely aggrieved, but he was like an analyst. He was like appointed by the Obama administration. He's like not a unserious person.
Sure, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And like, there's an article that I think we're gonna skip this week that basically was going over the fact that like in the last 3 years or so, like people have. Especially in the scientific community, have paid more attention to the UFO and UAP phenomenon, and that is just like broadly happening because there's something happening. There is documented evidence like that Sean Kirkpatrick guy. Like one of the grievances that was pointed out was that he had completely asinine explanations for the famous Go Fast and Gimbal videos, which are the ones that I think you guys have probably seen it. It's the Navy, Air Force, or air pilot videos of the balls moving really fast over the ocean. Like very famous videos, very clearly something's there. And everybody, like the whole group of Navy officers found it. Discovered these things. And at this point, it's like, is it a national security threat or not? The UK says no. The US is supposed to say yes, but then you got these guys who are probably in the pocket of the reptilians trying to gum up the works. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Big reptilian.
Yeah.
That's right.
I hear you.
Lobbying the Pentagon.
You hear me because I cannot talk at I cannot modulate my volume when I talk about this. I cannot modulate it. It's not regulated.
Passionate, man. It's okay, man.
It's not okay.
Thank you. It's not okay. All right. Well, enough. I've yelled and screamed already. Let's
more UFOs.
More UFOs, but we're just gonna. I just want to watch this one. It's a short video. It's about DoorDash.
1 in 7 people in America are living with food
Good God,
insecurity.
that's too loud.
But every day,
All right, skip that ad.
Unidentified food delivery.
12 News, a story not from this world. Recently released conversations involving high-level government officials claim a UFO crashed in Kingman back in 1953, and then the aircraft was seized by the Air Force.
Tonight, 12 News journalist Chase Golightly went to Kingman to look into this mystery.
Chase Golightly, great name.
We all know about the Phoenix Lights and other sightings here in Arizona, but this case is different.
Of course.
Now, no government entity has confirmed this and likely never will. But what we learned leaves a lot up to the imagination.
Did he emphasize
the
up
heart of
because it's in
Kingman,
space?
Arizona.
I think so.
Route 66, the famous logo seen everywhere you drive, bringing in countless visitors over the decades.
But in May of 1953, a different
You
kind
see
of
it?
visitor came here to Kingman, and they didn't take Route 66 to get here.
Whoa!
Whoa!
They came from the sky, crashing down in the desert in an aircraft not from this world, according to UFO researchers.
I have heard rumors about it, yes.
A familiar
that UFO.
story for those living here.
Pretty great.
I've had 2 sightings myself of UFO craft.
Because I want to go with them.
Others think it's just that, a story.
I'm not a believer.
But self-proclaimed experts and researchers on the matter say what makes this crash so different is all the research, witness testimony, and even evidence surrounding it.
Even
crash
evidence,
is definitely
guys.
in the top 5.
Author Preston Dennett is one of those researchers.
There's just a very small handful of UFO crash retrieval reports in the United States that have that kind of verification to them.
So we decided to find that information ourselves. Going to the
There he
Mojave
is,
Museum of
finding it.
History in Kingman, combing
heard
through
it.
old
I heard that
newspaper
paper.
clippings, sketches, and even redacted government documents allegedly detailing the crash from
No
those
harder
who were
proof than
there,
a sketch.
including Fritz
That's right.
Werner.
We now know him to be Arthur Stansel.
The documents claim Stansel was an Air Force engineer who studied the impact nuclear blasts had on homes and buildings. He was one of 40 people transported to the crash scene in a bus with blacked out windows so they wouldn't know where they were.
Spooky.
They were told this was part of a secret project. When they arrived, the report claims the UFO, measuring 14 feet high and 30 feet in diameter, was made out of unfamiliar metal, plunged about 20 inches into the ground.
And it was his job to basically determine the speed
John
of this
Malkovich from
object
Wish.
as it came down based upon the
guy.
gouge it made in the soil. And he estimated it was about 1,200 miles per hour. The craft itself was largely undamaged.
Next to the UFO, the corpse of the so-called pilot, who was described as being about 4 feet tall and wearing a silver metallic
child.
suit. Surrounded by military police, the workers conducted their studies in the dead of night. It doesn't say how long they were there, but when they got back on the bus, an Air Force colonel who was in charge of the operation made them take an oath
This
to keep
music.
this a secret. 20
Everyone
years
knows
later,
you don't break an
Stansel
oath.
came forward,
Yeah.
signing this
Oh, wait,
affidavit,
until you do.
allegedly
Oh.
confirming what he saw. Then 50 years later, another secret about the crash was released by former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, Christopher Mellon, between him and a senior United States government member whose name has been redacted, claiming people would be slack-jawed if word got out about what they know, writing the U.S. government seized the Kingman UFO.
These craft are scooped up, taken to various Air Force bases, scientific labs, and studied intently to figure out exactly what we can figure out about how they work.
Despite the reports and witness accounts, we will never truly know if what happened in Kingman that day is true.
I don't think our governments are ever going to willingly disclose really at all.
Dennett believes with more people and former government workers releasing classified information, we are getting closer to answers.
It's certainly movement.
So is there an official statement from the U.S. government about this Kingman crash? I reached out to several of our congressional members and even reached out to the U.S. House Oversight and Accountability Committee, who's actually held hearings on UFOs and aliens. But the spokesperson told me they have no
They've held a
comment
hearing on a
this
UFO?
crash. We're in Phoenix, Chase Golightly.
That's
How
cool.
can you deny that it exists if you're holding hearings on it?
They do. They don't deny that UAPs exist.
Right, but they're inside of it? They're
in it,
inside the
yeah.
UFO holding
the
a
whole
hearing?
hearing there?
That seems like pretty irrefutable. We should be seeing that. That should be in the news.
I mean, it just was. We were just watching the news, Jim.
I didn't see the footage of them in a UFO, Dio.
Also, I like that this, like, I don't know where, I don't know. I listen, I barely paid attention to the website when I looked at this. But I like that this, like, tiny news station was like, excuse me, Congress, I would like to know. And they're just like, who the fuck are you? Get out of here. We're pulling your funding.
Freedom of information inquiry.
Right.
Are there aliens?
Yes. All right. More. God, this is all UFOs this week, guys.
There's a lot of UFOs.
I just wanted to show another UFO video.
We live in. Do you think that cryptids kind of come in eras? I feel like UFOs are all the time.
I do.
But monsters are occasional.
I do. Yes. I think. Well, I think that there was a bigger monster happenings in the 90s, like with the Skinwalker Ranch and the Chupacabra stuff, and like that. I think in the 90s there was more cryptids, and then it moved to ghosts. Like ghosts got big in the 2000s up until like, the 2010s, early 2010s, and then it started going back to aliens. And we'll just go. It just keeps. It's this circle of cryptids.
Why do you think they cycle like that? Why do you think ghosts just kind of come and go at different?
Well, Earth is a timeshare for all these various creatures, and so they can't be there at the same time. And so they've got to. And then, when you have a flap is when they accidentally bump into each other on their way.
Right.
So.
Oh.
Anyway.
I would have guessed like hibernation patterns for the cryptids. Like maybe
that's
they go
true.
to sleep for a decade or two, and then
Like
they pop
cicada
back up,
style.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jeepers Creepers.
Like Jeepers.
Exactly.
It always comes back to Jeepers Creepers.
It always comes back to Justin Long, man.
Justin Long.
I mean, speaking of Justin Long, this video is not very. Take a look at this.
Nice.
UFO.
I don't think I'm seeing it.
It's right there.
Wait, let me.
In the middle of the screen, right there.
Dirt on my screen. Oh, that's the UFO.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Look at that. It's moving at the same speed
It's
as they
keeping
are.
pace. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
Clearly in
Boba
the
Fett's
distance.
ship.
It does look like Boba Fett's ship. Do we know where Boba Fett was at this time? This was seen in Austria this last week. Presumably during some sort of train ride. I just thought it looked cool. I figured I'd show it to you guys.
It does.
It is cool.
Pretty cool.
I have no refutation there. That's a UFO.
It is interestingly shaped. Not your typical UFO.
Austrian
Conical.
Alien.
Looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we
Austrian alien. Australian.
Vorarlberg, Austria. This week, August 1st, 6:30
Son of a bitch.
Cookie. Thank you for the 7 months UFOs made you do it. Thank you.
You've been abducted into the DOTV family.
That's right. You're here. You cannot leave. Hold on. We got more. Oh, all right. So, whoops. Is this the wrong article?
Well, I want to know what happened to Gizmo no matter what.
All right, this is you know what? I'm going to talk about this one anyway.
Let's do it.
Talk
Okay,
about
good.
this one anyway, because I wanted to talk about this one, but it's a little old. But Jim had the one that was from fucking April, so I'm going to use this one. It's a human interest story. All right. Gizmo the dog went missing in Las Vegas in 2015. Found alive 9 years later. All right.
Wow.
Look at this dog. Judith. I can't say her last name. Monterez. I should be able to say her last name. I cannot. Her poor dog Gizmo walked out of her backyard in Las Vegas in 2015. Disappeared. No one. She looked all over for him. Then suddenly, 9 years later, a woman.
That's not sudden. That's the opposite of sudden.
Suddenly, 9 years later. Eventually, 9 years later, a woman brings a dog into the vet. They look at the microchip. It's Gizmo. Only Gizmo clearly has seen some shit.
Yeah, look at him, dude.
Look at that face. Look at that face. Gizmo the Chihuahua. And when he returned back to Judith, Judith noted that he is now afraid of trees and birds.
Oh.
He's afraid. He's walking with a limp. Like, what happened to this dog? Where was he for 9 years?
Did he get stolen by a bird?
What?
Yeah, I feel like he got snatched by a bird
and
that
held
was dwelling
prisoner
in a tree.
Yeah.
And held yeah.
He was
Explains the
probably
limp,
just
explains
in
the
a
fears.
tree in her backyard for 9 years.
What kind of insane?
Just scared to get down.
Listen. But that's where the spookiness comes in. What
Sure.
kind of insane bird
Nah.
kidnaps a dog and doesn't eat them for 9 years?
Cryptids.
Cryptid bird.
True.
Cryptid bird. All right. I will also accept that we have long established that dogs see ghosts, and
Sure.
perhaps he found himself onto some sort of ghost in a ghost house or ship. Again, we've putting it all together.
A ghost tent.
A ghost tent.
Ghost tree house.
Yeah. Ghost tree house, exactly. Full
Sure.
of ghost birds, maybe. And they were and he gone, disappeared like that, like the Philadelphia experiment, gone, and then he came right back, and now he's back. Anyway,
That's crazy.
I thought it was a fun story. It is honestly one of those how the hell did this happen stories, but
Do you think he just went out
one?
gambling and got into huge debt? Was
Yeah.
like, I
Had to
can't go
work it off.
home. I gotta pay off this debt.
He borrowed from the wrong people, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta keep rolling these bones, but
He's scared of trees because he had to keep using tree limbs to break kneecaps. Earn his
Gizmo, an
freedom.
enforcer for the Vegas mob, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip the one I don't have a link for, which is a shame, but
Okay.
we will, go to this one. A little less wholesome news.
Yeah, this is crazy. I read about this.
Russian chess master poisons rival before their match. Amina Abakarova. Abakarova. Probably nailed it.
Sing it.
Yeah, all right.
It'll be better if you sing it.
Abakarova.
There you go.
Thank you. Allegedly poisoned her opponent with mercury before a chess tournament on August 2nd, according to Russian Telegram news channel Baza. Security footage reportedly shows going to her opponent's table and sprinkling something over the area. Her opponent... Okay, hold on. I gotta prepare myself. Let me... Umayganat Osmanova, nailed it,
Right.
reported that she sat down and saw some of the mercury come out under her board. Quote, in the first minutes, I felt a lack of air and a taste of iron in my mouth. She later told RTV1, I had to spend about 5 hours on this board. I didn't know what would have happened to me if I hadn't seen it earlier. Osmanova had previously beaten Amina in a July tournament, and the frustrated Amina had refused the customary handshake at the end of the game. Apparently, Amina had asked several event officials just 20 minutes earlier if those cameras that eventually caught her in the act were functioning. And those officials, perhaps seeing a few moves ahead, had told her they were not. Amina has been detained by police. So,
Good.
you know, Mercury, yeah, she went straight for it, exactly.
It's true. Russians usually use Novichok nerve agent. I feel like poisoning someone with mercury is pretty retrograde.
I mean, she's not KGB. She's like, she hasn't gotten to that level of chess mastery yet. Yeah, she went right for it. I mean, ooh, oh God, oh, I've killed us all. Oh no, oh, we're fine.
Did you?
Nope, we're fine.
I saw some great stuff there.
You saw nothing.
I saw plenty.
Nothing.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sad. I'm sad I missed it.
What else are we talking about?
I found you maybe a link for your story. I don't know if it's the right one.
Oh, well, let's pull this up. Oh, yes, this is it. This is it. Way to save it, Jim.
You got it, bud.
Mercury needs to be ingested in large quantities to be dangerous. It's not toxic to touch. I guess. Yeah, I guess.
So it's not toxic to touch, and it won't hurt you if you swallow it in your intestines. But if you breathe it in, it's very bad.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
It also, to question the verb in the story, does seem like something you would have a hard time sprinkling.
Yeah, I was a little.
Yeah, it beads up.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a little curious about that.
Crumbled mercury.
Just spritzing it, you know, like you fling water at people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lake Erie, plagued by a real
eeriest lake of all.
Even eerier, plagued by a real life monster. Hunters are combing Lake Erie in search of an alligator that has been spotted in the waters. A video posted to Facebook by Stina Roach shows what she estimated to be a 4 or 5 foot long alligator in the lake.
Is that not a normal size?
Yeah, it feels like average alligator.
Well, okay, but you know it's only going to get bigger. Aren't alligators?
Is that true?
Yeah, aren't alligators one of those species where we don't
like
really
goldfish.
know how... Well, I think it's true.
It'll just fill the whole lake.
You're making jokes, Jim, but I think this is actually accurate. We don't actually know how old they get, and they just keep getting bigger. Yes, I think that's true. I think that the older an alligator gets, the bigger it gets. I believe that's true.
Yeah.
Also,
I went to if Betty White feeds it, it'll get huge.
That's true. Can we get a Lake Placid sequel called Lake Erie? Oh. That would be great.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm in. According to Erie Port Authority Executive Director Julie Slomsky, we're taking this is very unique for us. We're taking this very seriously, and our team is being very, very diligent just to make sure we are keeping everyone safe. According to authorities, the alligator is likely a pet that was abandoned in the lake. They can grow up to 7 feet. Gotcha.
No, it's an alligator. That's not a pet. They're wrong.
Well, it's not a pet anymore. Now it is a cryptid in the lake.
Yeah.
This is the kind of story where if it happened before the age of video cameras and like instant news, like we would have like the Erie lake monster. I'm sure there is a lake monster, but you know,
old earwig.
Earwig, the Erie lake monster. Okay, and finally, I know I don't like to get political. Okay, generally speaking.
But we can't always do what we like.
But we can't always do what we like. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I don't like to get political on stream. But conspiracy theorists think Biden has been replaced by AI. All right?
That would explain the debate.
No, Patrick. Since the debate, they think he's died and been replaced by a B-I-A-I-den. A B-A-I-den.
Okay.
A
Is that their joke or is that
yours? That's theirs.
Then it's bad.
It was my joke.
What a good joke.
In the era of deepfakes and computer-generated voice mimics, no one believes anything anymore. Apparently, this is a big, like, right-wing fucking conspiracy right now that Joe Biden died. He called in to endorse Kamala and all that stuff. So it's like, anyway, whatever. He could be AI, but the AI is getting there, man. One day we will have an AI president. All right.
Great.
Yay! Yay! And with that's the week in Weird.
The overlords.
That's right. Yeah, embrace the overlords. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. You know?
Our robot overlords.
Our robot overlords. Tip of the tongue and teeth and the lips. Okay, we got it. Is it too late to be doing my addiction exercises before stream? I guess it is. That's right.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Great. Well, that's the week in Weird, guys. We did it.
Hell yeah.
We did it.
That's what we need.
Yeah. Well, without further ado.
Well, with one further ado.
Oh, you're so right.
We've been, you guys have been really supportive of us, and the Adam Smith invisible hand of the economy has taken notice, and we have our first sponsor. We're now a sponsored stream.
Oh.
Do you want to tell the people?
Oh,
about...
me? Oh,
do you want to?
Oh, I can do it
if you don't want to.
Hold on. I'm so not prepared. But I can, and I will, and I should. We are contractually obliged to be doing this.
We must.
So I have to. The good people. All right. Most of you out there know how to cook, and plenty of you know how to go really fast. But it's so hard to do both at the same time. You boys know how much I wish I could cook while moving at extreme speed. Right, guys?
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm. You talk about that all the time. Yeah, for sure.
Well, now I can. I've learned the secrets of cooking at high speed from everyone's favorite culinary daredevil, Velocity Chef. You too. Yeah, Velocity Chef.
I love Velocity Chef.
You guys have heard of him. For sure. You too can Velocity Chef with the new book, You Too Can Velocity Chef by Velocity Chef. Learn his advanced techniques and discover how to pair the meat from the bones of the skeletons in your closet. You'll gain access to recipes such as donuts and donuts, beef as a verb, peach cobbler while jumping a bus, steak tartare as you tear across the tar, pineapple upside down, then right side up, then upside down again cake, and more. Learn to make delicious meals while spinning wheels, providing excitement for yourself and nutrition for your family. You too can Velocity Chef by Velocity Chef. Now available at acceptable bookshops. If your bookshop doesn't carry it, please report them to the central authority in your locality. Another fine product from Unicorp, the only company. Guys.
I'm embarrassed about how funny I feel.
Dude, Unicorp.
I don't know what you mean. There's nothing funny about a fast meal taught by a fast man, okay?
It's true. It's true. It's a dream we've all had. And I'm glad we can finally... get there.
That's right.
Fast.
All right. We've fulfilled our contractual obligation to Velocity Chef. Now, on to...
It is... I don't know if you want to. Push back on me if you want to. We could open the phone line since it is after 1, and people can just interrupt me if they want to.
That is up to you, Jim. Do you want these lines open? Do you want the
I think let's open the lines.
Released?
Yeah, why not?
Phone lines are released. Guys,
call in if you want to.
We will be discussing Indrid Cold, but feel free to call in with whatever spooky, paranormal, fun story you got?
Spooky, scary. This is I was going to talk a little bit. We prepped you guys last week for Men in Black, and I thought I was going to use Indrid Cold as sort of an intro to the Men in Black, but then I just kept reading about Indrid Cold, and I got excited about him. So I'm going to tell you guys about him.
Ooh, he looks excited.
We mentioned
to see you.
Yeah, look at him. Look how stoked he is. We mentioned him during the Mothman episode a few weeks ago because he shows up around the same time and place as Mothman, also West Virginia, nearby in West Virginia even. Not that it's a huge state, but, you know, close towns. Just before, and then ends up getting written up in the Mothman Prophecies, the book, by John Keel. Our boy John Keel. But he's not, as far as I can tell. You guys can push back on me if you want to. I don't think he's directly related. By blood or by intent.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, Mothman Prophecies sure makes it seem like.
Right. I'm kind of getting tired of you slandering the Mothman Prophecies, man.
Look, I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I don't know what you guys learned.
Esteemed journalist. What's his name?
John Keel.
John Menarche Keel, yeah.
John Menarche, that's right. John, you know the Mothman only shows up when the women folk are on their Menarche. That's straight up a quote. I wish I was making that up. That is a thing he said.
Oh my god.
Indrid Cold. A very metal name for a dude from space. He's sometimes referenced as the Smiling Man or the Grinning Man, hence this image.
Sure.
Parts of this kind of sound like a horror story, but don't fear, children. There's no viscera, only horror of the cosmic kind. And even there, it's not that horrific, the story. West Virginia, November 2, 1966. Around 7:30 p.m., this is 13 days before that first Mothman sighting.
Okay.
Woodrow Derenberger, who is a sewing machine salesman, and a mild middle-aged guy, as mild and middle-aged as Woodrow Derenberger would suggest, is driving home to his home in Mineral Wells, West Virginia, from Marietta, Ohio, where he'd been selling sewing machines as was his job. He's driving down the road. It's dark out. It's raining. He has a truck full of sewing machines. One of the sewing machines bops loose. It's thumping around in the back of his truck. He's driving through the rain. It's spraying on the windshield. The machine's going clunk, 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 clunk in the back. He grits his teeth. He drives through the rain. A large vehicle starts driving up next to him, going not much faster, around the same speed, cruises up next to him, and he's like, there's a car passing me with no lights on. And then it gets close, and it's not a car. He sees it's a large gray, gunmetal gray object floating about 8 to 10 inches above the ground, cruising along past him. It gets past him, it swerves and blocks the whole road. He says it's shaped like the chimney of a kerosene lamp. If you want to pull up image 2, I have a kerosene lamp just as a reference.
Of a kerosene lamp. Okay, hold on.
I assume he means like a hurricane lamp. Classic kerosene. Just so you guys can see the shape. It cruises past him. It pulls up in front of him, comes to a stop. And as it comes to a stop, a door opens in the side, and a relatively normal-looking human-looking man steps out of the vehicle. According to an interview Derenberger gives the next day on TV, he looked perfectly normal, and normal as any human being. His face looked like he had a good tan, a deep suntan. He was not too dark, but it was just like he had been out in the sun a lot and had a good tan. Weird thing to specify there, Woody.
Yeah, wait, what year was this again?
1966.
Okay, that checks out. Yeah, okay. Yeah. God.
His hair is combed straight back, and it's a dark brown, and he seemed to have a good thick head of hair. His eyebrows, his face, his features were very normal. I don't believe that he looked different from any other man that you would meet on the street.
What?
You can take down the lamp if you
So wait a minute. he's just like, he looked like a man. This is straight up that Mad TV bit.
He's he's tall. He's very tan. He's smiling.
Yeah.
He's wearing a suit. He describes the suit as being he describes it as sort of cut like a suit, like you'd go into town, but it's zippered, and it's dark blue and reflective.
Okay.
The man walks over to Darren Berger's car. And the only real unusual things about him are his large, unwavering grin, his reflective blue suit, and the fact that he keeps his arms tightly folded, his hands tucked up under his arms. And also that even though they talked for about 5 minutes, he never moved his mouth. That's maybe the only weird thing. He projects his words. He projected his words directly into Darren Berger's mind. He walks up next to the car and asks Darren Berger to roll down the window, and which Darren Berger complies. Rolls down the window. Yeah.
Roll down the window. Roll down the window.
Yeah, but he's not yelling through a rictus grin. He's smiling, and his words are just appearing in Darren Berger's head.
That is awful. That is not.
In fact, he tells Darren Berger twice, you can either talk to me out loud or you can just think to me. Whatever's more comfortable for you, bro.
How very thoughtful of him.
Right. Yeah. They talk for about 5 minutes. And while they talk, the craft floats 50 to 75 feet up in the air.
Did he take him up on the offer to talk in his mind?
No, he spoke out loud.
Oh, okay. But do you think it was one of those things where Indrid could hear both? So he was just like, I'm not freaking you out, am I?
This is okay, right? They have later interactions where Indrid Cold does talk into his brain from great distances, and he thinks back to him. So he does later take him up on that, just sort of by necessity.
Okay.
But for this first conversation, he speaks out loud. I think just because, he's trying to make it feel normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
So
that right up there.
He rolls his window down. This guy out of the machine asks him what his name is. He tells him his name. Unmoving, smiling with a few too many teeth. The guy asks, "Why are you frightened?" And he doesn't reply. And he says, "Don't be frightened. We wish you no harm. We mean you no harm. We wish you only happiness."
We.
I know.
Like
like Venom.
Yeah, right.
With a Venom grin.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, right.
His tongue's real.
Lethal Protector, Indrid Cold.
I read that comic.
He does have a Tom Hardy kind of look to him, though. Look at that. Look at him. He looks like it's time-traveling Tom Hardy.
Sure, yeah.
I
could see it. I mean, to be fair, Tom Hardy could look like most white guys.
That's the description. We just got the description. Except, I guess, the dude had a tan. He wasn't.
Yeah, super tan.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Tom Hardy's not too dark.
Yo, it was too dark. Jim's picture I made for him a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
It's out of the video, guys. You're not going to see it.
Yeah, you can't see it anyway. There were some questionable Photoshop choices.
The man introduces himself as Cold. He just says his name is Cold. He says, "Ice to meet you." And then
chill out.
Shoots his freeze ray. Yeah.
Chill out. My smile isn't freaking you out, is it?
They actually, if you want, I put a YouTube link in this document. I don't know if I can drop it in Discord if that's easy.
On which document? Hold on.
In my Indrid Cold document. My cold doc.
In your script. Okay.
Yeah. If you scroll down a little bit, you see a YouTube link. It's just him talking a little bit. This is from the interview that he gives the next day. It's a TV interview It seems like there's no version of it with footage. You can I found a bunch of versions of it, but they're all just audio with some images. So this one it's just an image of him and the main interviewer.
Gotcha.
But this should jump to.
Did he say where he was from?
Talking about them talking.
He did not say where he was from, but when he asked me what Parkersburg was, and I told him, he said at where I stay or where I live, my home, he said we call this a gathering.
Mm-hmm. Did he say anything about him? Did he volunteer? Did he have a family? Did he ask you what you did for a living? Where you worked?
No, he asked me. He asked me if I worked for a living. He asked me if I had to work to live, and I explained to him what I was. He even asked me where I lived, and I told him. And I told him that I was a salesman, and he told me that he was a searcher.
A searcher.
A searcher.
But he didn't tell you what he was searching for.
No, he didn't. Mm-hmm. He didn't offer me no information other than this, but at 2 or 3 times he did tell me, he said, Mr. Dernberger, look at me. And he said, do not be frightened, look at me. And I believe if I hadn't have been frightened, I believe that if I had have looked to him, I believe that I could have understood a lot more of what he wanted me to than what I actually did.
You just have this feeling, you mean? But
I have that feeling. I was very nervous. I was very upset after this happened.
Okay, first off, I like the interviewer being like, did he have any family? Did you any family? Any family? Sister? Did he have a sister? What's his sister's number? What is going on?
Tell his mom to call me.
Yeah, tell his mom to call me. Mrs. Cold, call me up. Second off, if he felt like if he didn't look at it, I didn't catch any of that.
He was scared. He was scared.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
This dude's talking to him in his brain, so he's like, like that, you know. Like you do when you're scared.
I'm sorry?
You know, like you're scared.
Yeah. You don't do that when you're scared, Dio?
I don't think I do. I think most people on this stream know exactly what I look like when I'm scared.
Yeah.
It's usually a lot more high-pitched falsetto situation. Okay, well. So wait, so
they chat for a while. Yeah. No, what?
No,
what?
Oh, right, fine. No.
Guys.
This happened right after his first encounter. This interview
is all the first encounter.
But no, but the interview took place.
Oh, the interview.
Took place like right after.
Yeah, so yeah. Let me get to that in.
Okay, I'm sorry.
5 sentences. No. It's a great question. The Cold tells Dernberger, he says it way with fewer syllables than I am. That he'll contact him again in the future, and suggests that Dernberger go tell the authorities about them talking. And then walks back to his ship. A door opens. Dernberger sees an arm reach out and help Cold back into the ship. So there's at least 2 of them in there. And then they take off at tremendous speed. He drives home, immediately calls the police. Because of this phone call to the cops, by the next day, word's gotten around to the degree that this interview is the next day on WTAP TV. It's on at like 4:30 in the afternoon. It's a half an hour long, and it's not only him and that guy who we saw in the picture who was asking the questions. I think he's the like president of the TV station. But also in the interview or around the interview, you don't really hear them in it. There are police representatives from the local airport and representatives from the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. All of them heard about it and showed up to come sit in on this interview to find out what was going on.
That's wild. That's like that's an insane amount of immediate attention.
Yeah.
To a story that listen, I don't want to cast aspersions on the guy just
don't you dare.
based on his accent, but you know, he sounds like Hank Hill. Like, I mean, I saw a man who goes in my mind. Like, I like.
Yeah. And
took
who's
him
more
very
trustworthy
seriously.
than Hank Hill, Dio?
You know what? You're right. You're
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
If Hank Hill saw a UFO
I'll tell you
in
what.
King of the Hill, you'd be like, "That's a real UFO." If
I
Bobby
know
Hill
what
saw
I
a
saw.
UFO, you'd be like, "Nah, I don't know." But
Yeah, true.
Hank sees a UFO, you know it's real. How
Fair.
we communicate with each other.
Apparently, so did the National Guard or whatever came out.
Yeah.
That damn thing. Wow. Okay.
Rolling
all
up
right.
to see what old Woody saw.
Okay.
The piece airs in the afternoon. Other people see it, come forward with similar stories. Various people claim to have seen lights and fluttering vehicles. I don't know what that means. Near the roads in the area. Some people, or one, I think, older fella says that he was driving down a road nearby and saw a guy matching Indrid Cold's description on the side of the road trying to wave him down and was too scared to stop. A few people come forward to say that they cruised past while Darren Berger was talking to Cold and they saw them talking on the side of the road. One of the more compelling stories that comes forward in the wake of this, and this might be a line drawn by John Keel, and this is where I have a little bit of I start to question things.
Oh,
where this to me feels like a separate. All of the description of Indrid Cold that we get from old Woody is that he looks pretty normal and he's smiling. He smiles the whole time they talk. But he never describes the smile as off-putting or the face as off-putting. All the pictures you find are like this. I threw up 2 pictures of the like Steeplechase Park guy because that's kind of what I was picturing. But it's similar, right? Where it's like a maniacal smile, and that part of the story comes from this other incident, really, which is October 16, about 2 weeks before Woody runs into Indrid Cold. 9:45 p.m. 2 boys are walking home in New Jersey. That's how I picture them. They're walking home in New Jersey from a day of youthful mischief, you know, like dragging a stick along a chain link fence as they're walking next to the Jersey Turnpike. The boys, incidentally, are named Martin Mouse Munyov and Jimmy Yankitis.
He didn't get one. Yank.
Jimmy the Yank. Jimmy the Yank.
We need more nicknames being thrown around, right? Like
sure. Okay. Yeah. I'll.
Jim,
don't
what
worry.
do you got? What's your?
I'll write them out. I'll write them out.
Okay.
Oh, for us? For
Yeah.
us? Oh, I thought you meant for me to say in the story.
No. For us, we need more nicknames.
They call me old Jim 2 feet. On account I have 2 feet.
Patrick, what do they call you?
They call me Patrick the Believer.
It's one of those ironic nicknames.
You look, yeah, that's right.
Old gullible Patrick over there.
I'm Dio Demento. That's right.
Dio
You
Demento.
wish.
The radio
I
show
really
host.
wish I was Dio Demento. Are you getting our? Anyway, moving on. Sorry, derailed us again.
Jimmy walking along. Jimmy the Yank. It feels like there's something a little off, like someone's watching them. And he looks through the fence towards the Jersey Turnpike and sees a man in a reflective green suit.
Oh.
Standing on the side of the road, looking at a house across the street. He elbows Mouse. A quote from Mouse. Yeah. Oi, Mousey! The quote from Mouse is, Jimmy nudged me and said, "Who's that guy standing behind you?" I looked around and there he was, behind that fence, just standing there. He pivoted around and looked right at us. Then he grinned a big old grin.
Oh.
They run, later talk to the police, and of course after that, talk to our buddy John Keel. They tell them both the man is broad-shouldered, at least 6'2", with this reflective green suit, a wide black belt, beady eyes, and a smile that made their blood run cold. Indrid Cold.
Indrid Cold. So we still haven't gotten the Indrid part of Indrid Cold, right? Like we haven't. That hasn't become a thing yet.
Yeah, the first time they meet, he just introduces himself as Cold, which is
interesting.
hard.
Dang it. I keep on the wrong thing.
Keel also claims that there are a bunch of UFO sightings reported around the same time, around the same place, mostly near the Wannock Reservoir in also New Jersey. But I couldn't find any corroboration for that. And I'm like, how much do I trust John Keel?
Hold on. We're getting a call.
Caller.
Call from
Brady.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Call.
Accept it. Accept it, dear.
I've accepted it, I believe.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
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 How's it going?
Oh, going pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. Thanks for calling in. You're live and on the air.
Of course. So two recent stories, because I don't want to take up a lot of time, but like
take up all the time you want.
Essentially, right outside Morgantown, like maybe 20 minutes if you go the wrong way.
Okay.
And we own, like, just my family and friends. We own a lot of property in Terra Alta. Well, it was one night we're having just simple fire, something we do a lot, just drinks, hanging out. Well, we, like, all of a sudden we just start smelling just something god-awful. And we're like, okay, that's weird. And, it's at the time, it was my uncle's property. He's a gunsmith. It was his personal range. So we're the only ones on the property. We know the property very well. That's really out of the ordinary for something random to happen. And we started smelling something weird. So we just kind of look around, check it out, couldn't find anything. Well, then we heard a thump, and we're like, okay, what was that? So, I mean, it's backwoods West Virginia. We all have CCs, so we're all strapped up, so nothing's really like a big issue. And we go walking around, shining our flashlights, and all of a sudden we find half of what we thought at first was a dog. Well, then we just kept looking around a little bit, and someone pointed out they found the other half of a goat, and it was literally a goat just like torn into three pieces.
What?
Whoa!
In what way? Like which?
Yeah.
And
which
that's
direction?
Not something that we don't own goats. We don't have dogs anymore. So
did you see?
It was a very weird thing.
Did you hear? I'm sorry. Are you able to hear, Jim? Did you? What way was the goat torn up? Like from like
back,
like front and back. Like there was a head in one side and the back of the goat in the other, or like a hot dog.
No, so the back end was about half of one leg and probably 3/4 of the spine, and then the other half was like partial of the skull, like it looked like it was fractured, and then part of the leg, like one of the front legs, and we never found the rest.
Whoa,
gnarly
as hell. Yeah, that's really fucking crazy.
And it was weird because, like, we were smelling like something horrible for hours, but then all of a sudden we just heard a stump, and then when we went to that area, it was the ass end of the goat.
Yeah. So, what do you suspect it might have been?
It's kind of hard for me to say because, like, logically my brain wanted to say, like, oh yeah, probably like an eagle or something, but then other parts, that fucking Mothman.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that seems like Mothman
exactly.
work.
That, I mean, honestly, like that would be. I mean, good God, my friend.
So the second story, so like for my work, just to give you like a backstory so it kind of makes sense. I work for a company that we make like the guns and control panels for ski resorts, like the big snow guns and everything.
Nice.
And so we do a lot of traveling to like install parts, install the guns themselves, wire up electrical panels, a lot of things like that. Well, we were in Nemacolin, Pennsylvania, and it's like a little, like, kind of like a little Richie area. Like, you know, there's a casino, there's like a tiny little zoo there, and they have a small, like, very small ski resort. Well, me and my brother, he works with the same company. We go out there, we're just fixing a couple guns, and anytime we do field work, like, it's a long day. Like, 16 hours is typically, like, the average, but at this day, we were working 18 hours, and, like, we were going out, we parked the work truck at the bottom because we're not allowed to take our own personal vehicles or anything like that up to the top of the resort, but they supply, like, four-wheelers, golf carts, stuff like that.
Sure,
well, go up to the top of the mountain, and it's like 10:30 p.m. at the time, so we only have our own lights and some of the lights that they supply at the time. And we're just, you know, kind of going around trying to make sure we did everything that we needed to do. And we just kept hearing these weird-ass noises. And, like, you know, my brother as well as me, like, we grew up in, like, family of hunters. We traveled, like, all over the U.S. just to hunt. So very familiar with animal noises. And so we're just kind of sitting there listening, trying to figure out if it's, like, a coyote or something. And then all of a sudden, it sounds like somebody, like, just kind of spits. And we're like, that's weird, because that's, like, no one else should be here. And
you like somebody who goes like a like a big old loogie kind of shit, or what are we talking about here?
Yeah, sounded like someone just hawked a loogie.
All right.
And we're like, okay, that's weird. Like, we are the only ones here. The mountain manager literally told us when he was leaving, and he said that there was no one else. So we're like, oh, crap, you know, like, we're probably going to have to call someone, because it's kind of like an agreement we have with these resorts. If people are on the property that aren't supposed to be there, then, you know, we have to escort them off and contact local law enforcement and all that.
Right. I get it.
We hear that. We're looking around for this person. We can't find anybody. So we're just like, all right, like, let's go back to our checklist, and we're just kind of checking out everything. Well, then all of a sudden, we hear what sounds like sticks breaking in, like, a perfect rhythm, like, maybe, like, 2 seconds apart for probably, like, 20, 25 seconds. They're just breaking in rhythm. And we're like, all right, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So me and Ty, we go, we're just walking around looking for shit. And all of a sudden I hear Ty yell, and he's like, yo, get the fuck over here. And I'm like, at this point, I'm freaking out, because my brother, calm, cool, collected dude all the time. So I run over there, and there is just a scene of what looks like, are any of you guys hunters at all?
No, I am not. We're a couple of city slickers, and I think Jim, you're probably the closest to.
I mean, I shoot guns.
Yeah,
but
a couple of us we're familiar with firearms. I haven't hunted. Yeah.
So it looked like a scene of what I can only describe as, like, what the aftermath looks like when I gut a deer.
Okay.
Like, there's blood, organs laying everywhere, and we're like, dude, this is a private ski resort. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
And so we're in there, and there's a piece of paper, like, tucked behind this one thing, and I don't even know what it was. It looked like this little wooden, like, I don't know, because I don't want to say it
like
looked
Blair
like
Witch shit.
Yeah. Was it like an altar box? What are we talking about here?
No. Like, it wasn't a box, but it wasn't a doll. It looked like someone just made like a little wooden sculpture type deal.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it, and there's a piece of paper, and I'm curious as hell, and I'm, like, looking at Ty, and I'm kind of smiling a little bit, because I'm like, dude, I want to read it. And he's like, don't you fucking touch it.
That's a smart brother. That he saved your fucking life.
Brother.
That is looking out, dude.
Yeah. You read that paper out loud, something bad happened.
Yeah, this is how movies start.
Well, this is where shit gets really weird. So start
This is
going,
where it gets weird.
Yeah. Wait.
we start going to the truck, and we hear what sounds like a bobcat. And bobcats are known for, like, when they screech, sounds like a woman screaming.
Yep.
So we hear what we think is a bunch of bobcats, and then we just hear just banging and all this crazy ass noise, and then we hear glass break. We get down to the truck, and someone completely vandalized our work truck. Like, we had to do an insurance claim and everything.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
What was that claim? We were like, attacked by Bigfoot.
I knew you were going to make a Bigfoot reference. I knew
Listen!
it. I felt it coming.
That sounds like maybe you were attacked by, like, a coven.
Yeah, a coven of witches.
A
definitely.
coven of Bigfoots.
Well, there's one of our other reps who does, like, field work and stuff. He was telling us the whole reason that me and Ty actually went out to Nemacolin was because he refuses to go back because he said the last time he was there, he apparently saw, like, 7 cloaked dudes, like, walking around, and they wouldn't say shit to him.
This is like that fucking game I played, the Fears to Fathom Point Lookout one with the cult leaders and the fucking woods and shit. No, dude, you can't have. Listen, y'all in West Virginia need to calm down. All right, you can't have cryptids and cults. That's just too much.
Yeah. You
Well,
guys
that's
go
definitely
into the woods and get in trouble.
You just described, like, the first episode of a season-long arc on the new Dexter revival.
I mean, it's kind of funny because, like, you know, we go out and we deal with, like I said, animals and shit all the time, and we've dealt with, like, homeless people and stuff on the mountains, and just seeing all that stuff, it's like, dude, why are people doing this stuff here out of all places?
I don't know. I mean, you know, there's all the lore of the mountain ranges and things like that of being secret, you know, underground civilizations and this, that, and the other thing. I don't know, man.
Well,
that's wild. I mean, sorry, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's something that would really creep people out too is, like, on ski resorts, like to kind of get power to all the guns. They have these things that they call vaults, which are literally like 5 foot by 6 foot boxes that they put anywhere from 3 to 5 feet underground. So if you didn't know about those and you just walked around, you would literally just see a bunch of metal doors in the dirt and be like, dude, they're under the fucking resort.
That's
They're living in the
crazy.
dirt underground.
So
doing animal sacrifice, wearing cloaks, smashing trucks.
Listen,
don't like it.
I'm going to defend my diagnosis is Bigfoot. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. All right, the smell in your first story.
I mean, the smell. Oh, you're linking the two stories together.
I'm linking the two stories.
These are two different stories.
What do you think? Do you think that these two stories are linked, Brady, or do you think these are two distinct entities you're dealing with?
I would say two different things solely for the distance between them. I mean, one's in Terre West Virginia. The other was in Nemacolin, Pennsylvania.
Okay, all right. Well, at least I think that first story is Bigfoot, because the smell is a classic sign of Bigfoot. Like that is a Bigfoot thing. Now I'm not known Bigfoot.
Ripping a goat in half, not super Bigfoot.
Not
Mothman.
super Bigfoot.
Mothman trying to lure you in with dead goat. Right. He's like, "This is delicious, right?" And then you go look at it, and he stares at you. I don't really know what it is.
I thought Mothman was
he tells you about impending home. Yeah, he killed that dog.
He killed that dog. I don't know, goats and dogs. I don't know. Anyway, I'm still going with Bigfoot here, but. I mean, what do you think? What do you think you were encountering, Brady?
In which story?
Both. Give me your diagnosis for both.
In the first one, I know this feels like kind of old news, but like Do you remember like a couple years ago when people were like dressing up in clowns and shit and just like walking around the woods being all fucking weird?
The clowns, yes, the clown-demic, I remember.
A very prominent thing around here. And why that's still a thing, I don't know. But like we've chased a lot of people off the property, like to the point where we're so tired of it that you see a clown on the property, you just pull out your handgun and just do a pop shot in the air, and they typically run.
Wow, that like, bad? Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I would say it's genuinely like
that's so strange,
twice a week thing.
Wow. All right. Clowns, if you're listening, cut it out.
Yeah, just stop, dude.
So you think a clown tore a goat in half? Sorry, I just got to say that out loud.
No. So the first story, it's either got to be something weird or just a bunch of people trying to fuck with us. I mean, because based on the size of the goat, like hawks can carry a lot of crazy shit, but I don't think they were carrying that goat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, because at that point you're talking like giant fucking condor eagle size fucker. Like, Jesus, okay. Or it might be Big Hoot. Anyway, never. We'll keep moving.
Second story, probably. I don't know. I mean, I would probably just some like silly cult people if I had to guess.
That sounds like silly cult people to me.
I don't like that. I don't like that explanation any more than I like it being
it's worse,
man. It's so
much
worse.
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
more.
Lovecraft.
It's better if it's Bigfoot.
Shit. Yeah, I wish it was.
But that
Bigfoot.
sounds like a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
Well, wow. The way I look at it, and maybe this is just like military background coming into play, but I'm much more comfortable handing a person than a 9 foot tall Asian.
Sure. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, thank you for your service. But that is good gravy. That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. I mean, like, oof. I don't even know what to think. Just like I think I honestly would be more scared of seeing a cult member in the middle of the woods than I would be of a Bigfoot. I think a Bigfoot, cause I've dealt with like a random animals, like I live in Texas. Like I've literally encountered going down by the Gulf, like alligators and crocodiles. Like they exist. Like, and I've encountered wild boars. Yeah. Like down there you can go, you like literally, Jim, you remember one of my exes? They had a house down by the beach, and there were just alligators around there, and like they're fucking frightening. But like you give them distance, you kind of you can treat them with a certain amount of respect with an animal. You can kind of deal with it. I imagine Bigfoot same way, but a fucking cult member, I don't know what they're getting up to. I don't know what they're hiding on the. Yeah, I don't know what kind of grease paint and rubber nose shit they got underneath that hood. Like, good God.
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of where like just a different mind of thinking comes in. Like a human is gonna have a much greater reaction to fear than like a bear would.
Fair.
Like if I point a gun at a bear, the bear
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Sure.
That is true. That's
true. You have to shoot the bear. You could probably just pull the gun on the cult member.
Exactly.
That is true. Well, that's crazy. Those are a couple of wild stories, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And thanks for watching and tuning in, and do stick around as we continue the Indrid Cold stuff. But thanks again for sharing.
Oh, dude, anytime, my man.
All righty. Take care and have a good night, okay?
Yeah, you boys have a good one.
Thank
you.
Wild.
Shit.
Wild story. Truly a wild story. Thank you, Brady, for calling in. That was awesome.
Guys, your stories don't have to be that good if you want to call.
That's true. You can tell us much different stories if you would like. You can tell us more tall tales if you want.
Yeah. Call us. Tell us less exciting stories. You could also just ask us questions.
Yeah, that is also
You
fair
could just
game.
call us up and scream and hang up.
That works.
Thanks again, Brady. Guys, let's get some love in the
Appreciate
chat for Brady.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, where were we,
Golf
Jim?
clap. So various outlets run with Darren Berger's story. He gets published a few times. You can pull up 5 if you want. Image 5. It's just a news article. The only one I could find. It's also very skinny, but you can zoom in. It's a news article about him talking to a spaceman. It plays around for a while. People take an interest. People corroborate his story. People ask him about it once in a while for follow-ups. He says that Indrid Cold visits him at home. Even eventually, there's a whole book eventually, and through the course of it's actually an unclear period of time to me. I skimmed parts of the book. It feels like over the course of a couple of years, Cold keeps showing up, keeps visiting him at his house, eventually takes him on his ship, eventually takes him back to the planet that Indrid Cold is from, Lanulos.
Lanulos?
Oh, yeah.
Lanulos. Okay.
Yeah, the planet of Lanulos.
Gotcha.
Where Indrid Cold is from.
Is this guy the not Kevin Costner character, but the other character from... Remember...
I think I read
not Kevin
in
Costner,
one of the articles
Richard
that
Gere.
he's named Gordon in the movie.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the actor's name from Mothman Chronicles who plays it. The other lead, the guy who has like the brain problem. And it's crazy that Richard Gere shows up on his house. I can't remember. Anyway. I'm throwing to Patrick hoping he'll help me out, but he does not look interested in helping me.
No, I can't help you, mate.
No, sir. I will not. Anyway.
His wife and children are all become familiar with Cold. Actually, at the end of that interview the next day, the interviewer is like, "What does your wife think about all this?" And Darren Berger's like, "Well, she believes me, but she doesn't like it." According to the daughter later, she thought it was that Indrid Cold was real. The whole family believes in Indrid Cold and corroborates the story as truth and confirms that he shows up at the house a bunch of times. They all have met him and believe in him. His wife thinks that he is evil and up to no good. And eventually, we'll get there. I eventually divorces him because of it. Because of his continued contact with Indrid Cold. His wife breaks up with him.
Dang.
Yeah. His daughter, Tanya Darrenberger Bowman, actually continues to corroborate his stories, and I think she published her own book about it until last year when she passed. R.I.P.
Dang.
He also talks about being contacted by NASA a few days later. I have a little quote from his. Let me read you a passage from.
Oh, I'd love that.
He has a book. This book it's worth noting. You could pull up 6 actually if you want references the book. He publishes a book called Visitors from Lanulos, co-written with that fella in the picture who's named Harold W. Hubbard. That guy, at the time that they met, was the technical division director for the Sebring, Ohio UFO Research Division, which is not a government organization. It's just a club of people who hang out. They met at an Italian restaurant and talked about UFOs.
The greatest UFO researchers Sebring could muster.
Yeah. Presumably that's how they met, is through this guy's interest in UFOs. But the book it's listed as being written by this guy based on how it was recounted to him by Woody Durenberger. Tanya, the daughter, later said that he both inflated the sort of elements of the story and left out some of the most compelling bits. But I'll read you a passage.
Okay. So he made
during.
No, sorry.
No.
It's like so he made the uninteresting bits more interesting and left out the most interesting bits.
Yeah. That's what Tanya said.
That's definitely a way to sell a book. I mean, I don't know if it's the best way, but it's one of the ways to sell a book.
He sets this up as being shortly after Christmas, so this is like a month and a half after the event. I told my story to a man who was introduced to me simply as Charlie, the head man of NASA. I was interrogated every night for 5 days, and after listening to my story several times, I was told that I had told them nothing that they did not already know. I am almost sure that they knew of the planet of which I had told them. Several other people had told them of the same kind of experience. I asked them why they would not release this to the public, and was told that if they did, it would cause a panic. Women would commit suicide, throw babies out of windows, jump under trains, etc. And then this kind of panic could sweep across the whole world. I did not agree with them then, and I still don't.
Fucking Charlie NASA man. Cats and dogs living together. Pandemonium. Yeah. Holy shit. So Charlie NASA man said, you've told us nothing.
Yeah, he's like, we already know all this. Everyone has gone to Lanulos.
Listen, Lanulos was so last year. All right?
And he's like, well, then, Charlie, why don't you tell the people about it? And Charlie's like, because then women will throw their babies out of windows.
God damn it. Listen, you know, I mean,
it makes sense.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Charlie NASA man being like...
Can't fault the logic.
Listen, those broads will start tossing babies out to the nearest fucking window they see. Like, there's no way you can tell them any of this.
Yeah.
You know how the women be throwing babies out windows. The moment you say aliens.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay, all right. Okay.
He also claims, I mentioned already, Indrid starts stopping by his house. Usually shows up in a car, and then comes by and hangs out and just chats with him for a while. He eventually starts bringing 2 other searchers with him. Mm-hmm. We never find out what they're searching for. That's what they call themselves. The other 2 are named Demo Hassan and Carl Ardo.
They did not, when they were raffling off the human names, like, they did not get the good ones, did they?
No.
Also, they've downgraded from a spaceship to a car now.
Yeah, they show up in a car, I think to avoid scrutiny.
What make and model?
Oh, all right.
Later, there's a story, or I'll just read it to you right now. At one point, and I read this in a few different places, but I never get a source on who the 2 unnamed men are. But eventually, because Indrid Cold is showing up at the guy's house, and because people know about it, both skeptics and believers start showing up at Dernberger's house and just hanging out, like congregating in his driveway, waiting to see the guy, because they want to see an alien. There's one particular story about these 2 guys who are unnamed who show up and hide in a bush with rifles, waiting to see something weird. They wait for several hours. Eventually, a black Volkswagen shows up. We don't get a model, but we get a color and a make. Black Volkswagen rolls up, the car of the people, and of
Nazi Germany, but okay.
Sure, and of Lanulos. And a tall.
Starting to like Lanulos. Starting to think maybe.
Look, you can have one thing in common with the Nazis, and it doesn't make you bad. And I'm of course referring to my swastika tattoo.
Jesus. But it's going the other way, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It
spins counterclockwise.
Jesus Christ. I should have kept the original picture for me.
Offensive in the other way.
Yeah, right.
These 2 guys hide in the bush. a black Volkswagen rolls up. A very tall, very tan man in an all-black suit steps out. Dernberger comes out of his house. They talk for a while. Then the guy gets back in his car and leaves. The two guys with the rifles are like waiting. They're like, something weirder is gonna happen, and then it doesn't. But maybe they saw what they wanted to see. Is the point of the story? Maybe that tall tan man was Indrid.
Maybe.
Anyway, yeah, people are rolling up and hanging out at the house. Was I answering a question that you asked? I don't remember what it was.
I wanted to know what make and model the car was. Yeah.
Oh, Volkswagen. Yeah,
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Black Volkswagen.
At least once black Volkswagen.
Interesting. And so now he's showing up with it's Indrid Cold and I'm sorry, what were the other names that were lame?
Demo Hassan and Carl Ardo.
Demo Hassan does sound like if you went to an arcade in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And you were fighting terrorists, like Demo Hassan was like one of the terrorists you were gonna fight.
Yeah. I mean, also, you in that video game, you could be Carl Ardo.
You didn't have enough letters to do a better one. Carlo.
Just
Ardo.
8 letters, baby.
That's brutal. Indrid Cold was like, no, I get the cool one, thanks. Did they also smile?
Yeah, they're also smiley fellas who don't move their mouths when they talk.
I don't like it.
That's just the Lanulosian way. He also does say that they live in it was in that clip that we listened to. He says that they don't live in cities, they live in gatherings. So maybe they're all just juggalos. Maybe it seems like their mouths aren't moving because of the fish. We also find out
is Indrid Cold space juggalo?
Space juggalo, yeah. And they're searching for time. They're searching through time to find when ICP starts.
They're trying to.
They're just early. They're early, so they're hanging out.
Oh yeah, they just missed it. They're like, listen, we're hanging out for 4 to 5 decades before we can get to the gathering.
They're like, yo, you got any Faygo? And Dernberger's like, I don't know what that means.
We're coming down. We've got to show the clowns how these magnets work. All right, this is our job, is to teach them how magnets work.
Yeah.
I get it. All right.
Oh, we also find out that Carl Ardo is the arm who reached out of the ship to help Indrid back in.
Oh, thank God, because I was thinking the whole time. I'm glad we got closure on that.
Yeah,
one.
You're like, whose arm was that? That's the mystery of the story.
I like that this has like lore. This is like Star Wars level of lore, where every little bit of it gets like a 6-page summary and backstory.
Oh, yeah. I have. Oh man, maybe I have too much.
Keep going, dude. Keep going.
Well, I have a story about another guy who claims to have had a similar experience, but I'm just gonna kind of blast past that and stick with the Indrid stuff.
Yeah.
Let me read you a little bit another excerpt from the book. This is from chapter 5. My first trip aboard ship. No article.
Okay.
2 days later, when I came home from work, around 10:30 or 11 p.m., pretty late, I was again met by Indrid and Carl Ardo, and we sat out in the yard and talked for some time. When the men got ready to leave, I walked out to the ship with them. When I reached the ship, Indrid asked me if I would like to see the ship inside. I went aboard and was shown all through. Oh, actually, pull up, I don't know, 6 or 7. We have a diagram of their ship. There it is. That's from the book.
Wow.
Yeah. I went aboard and was shown all through the ship except the back compartment. When I was getting ready to leave the ship, I was standing just inside the door when I saw a small panel that was glowing with a pale blue light, about a shoulder high, and to a man of my size, about 6 feet tall. About shoulder high to a man of my size, about 6 feet tall. I took my hand and cautiously laid it on the light to see what would happen. At the same time, the door shut very quickly with a solid thud. I do not know exactly what made me frightened, but when the door shut, I immediately thought, uh-oh, they're going to take me up whether I want to go or not. I forgot completely that Indrid and Carl would know what I was thinking. Indrid laughed and said, "No, not unless you want to go." I felt very foolish for letting them know my feelings, and they realized it, and they laughed all the harder. I asked Indrid, if you didn't intend to take me, why did the door shut? He said, I didn't shut it, Woody. You shut it. And then, he touches the blue plate and opens the door.
Oh, so he accidentally bumped into the button, and that's why it shut?
No, he touched the plate, but he didn't know it was going to close the door. He's just describing their future technology.
Yes.
He does later say that they have technology that's much more advanced than ours, and they want to swap technology with us once they know what we've got. So maybe that's what they're searching for.
Yeah, I've always wondered about this entire idea of like a technology swap between humans and intergalactic.
Super advanced.
Yeah. What are they getting from us? I mean, the Eisenhower deal was like
saltwater
taffy and stuff. Oh, and saltwater taffy, sure. But yeah,
surely we've invented things that are not necessary to intergalactic travel that they haven't invented.
Like
the
what?
corn dog, Dio? The corn dog.
Yeah, deep
enough.
dish pizza. Come on, there's
Yeah.
tons of stuff.
Right.
Get over yourself. There's all kinds of stuff we have that an alien wouldn't have thought of.
They came for our pizza and delicious foods.
Cricket, the sport.
Pornography.
Yeah. Who would think
Do you
of that?
think, though? Wait, hold on.
Watching other members of your own species have sex. That is a pure human invention.
But then they're not our species. And so for them, would it be bestiality?
Only if they were involved.
I guess that's true.
Is it bestiality for you to watch two donkeys have sex? Or is that just a great night out?
I think it is if you're touching yourself. I think it is. I think it is if you're making donkey noises with them, along with them.
Well, what if that's what I do no matter what's going on?
How is it that every episode we get? Never mind. We just dive into.
We end up talking about
sexuality.
donkeys.
Every episode we talk about donkeys. That's right. Donkeys were the Bigfoots we met along the way.
Dude, you can flip through the next couple of pictures. I don't have a specific talking point for, but they're all bits from the book. That first one is a diagram of their mothership. So not the one that they're picking him up in, but the mothership they take him to later.
This is the mothership?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
this is a space alphabet. I think it says at the bottom. It's like the intergalactic alphabet. Oh dear, there's something behind you. Look out.
Jesus Christ. Why?
Which is interesting that it correlates directly to ours.
Yep. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was like, has anyone tried this against the Zodiac cipher? But also,
it does have
my God.
It is the Zodiac symbol. Yes.
Are you suggesting that Woody was the Zodiac killer?
It could be, or
he is a traveling salesman.
Or Carlo Ardo. He could have been mad.
Carl
still.
Ardo, sure.
Carl Ardo, mad that he got the bad name. It is really weird that they would have one-to-one. That they would have one-to-one correspondence with this alphabet.
With
also
our alphabet in English specifically, right? It's not even like a different Earth alphabet.
And also, like, they just got all the letters wrong. Like X, they got X wrong. They got T wrong. They got F wrong. They got M wrong. They got O wrong. Like, what the fuck?
They also use X like 3 times.
They sure do. Yeah. Which is like, they're fucking this up.
Look, just because they do it different than we do, Dio. Just because you hate the Lanulasians.
Is this their entire alphabet? I love a species that dominates a planet that there's no cultural differences between.
Yeah. It's just them.
Yeah.
This is some control panels from inside their ship.
It looks strangely like a airplane of the time. Also,
sure, yeah.
Why is everything? Why? I assume they're just labeled in English for
us. Yeah.
For us. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
One must assume.
Scanner screen. Yeah, this totally looks like a functional thing. Got it.
You don't feel like that looks like something from 20,000 years in the future? Some
No.
super advanced technology that we would never be able to understand?
I mean, it might. I don't know what 20,000 years in the future technology is going to look like.
Yeah,
if I
like
had
that.
to guess, it wouldn't
It'll look like
involve-
1966.
Yeah, if I had to guess, it wouldn't involve not one but two compasses on it.
How are you going to figure out your way through space if you don't have a compass and then a different compass that functions sideways because it's 3-dimensional?
Yeah, yeah, right. If you didn't have a compass pointing to north and a compass pointing to space north.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of looks like an Atari. Sam Peeps says in the chat. I agree.
yeah.
It does
Yeah, I
look
can
like
see
an
that.
Atari. For sure.
And in its own way, doesn't an Atari take you to different worlds?
It sure does.
It sure did. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a thinker.
On one occasion, Darren Berger leaves for 6 months on a trip with Cold. Family never knows where he goes. He just takes off 6 months, and they all accept that as a thing that happens.
They all corroborate that he was just gone for 6 months?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, does he have kids? He has kids, right?
Yeah, a few kids.
Golly.
I saw different numbers. I think there's like 5 total, but I think some of them aren't his biologically, maybe.
Could you imagine a time where you, as a father, could just straight up be like, fuck it. I'm going on a trip with my alien pal.
Yeah.
Wife, take care of the children. I might be back.
I will say there is a read on this, a very 1966 read, where Indrid Cold is just a handsome European fella.
Wait. Did Indrid Cold keep going back to the house while he was gone?
Oh, he keeps showing up. Yeah, he keeps showing up and hanging out with.
No, when he was out for 6 months.
Oh no! They're gone. They're gone together. No, I'm saying like there's a 1966 read on this where it's illegal to be queer, and Woody Derenberger meets this handsome, swarthy European. Am I allowed to say swarthy European fella? And they start hanging out together a lot. Sometimes they go to space for a while.
They go to space. They discover new.
Yeah.
Regions.
Yeah, exactly. They go.
Hang out.
They go hang out on Uranus.
Yep. They fuck.
Thank you, Patrick.
Yep, no problem. I got you, dude.
You just gotta spell it out sometimes.
It's just like that Scottish article earlier.
That's right. They
also
plow some fields together.
Yeah, they go plow some fields.
Space fields.
They also, at the house, they receive a bunch of strange phone calls. Sometimes it's just weird beeps and hums. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's people calling to threaten them and tell them to stop talking about aliens.
Right.
This is how I was originally going to use this as just as a brief segue into Men in Black, because we do end up with a lot, and we mentioned this again when we were talking about Mothman, that in that time, in this space, in these areas of West Virginia, there are Men in Black showing up. The government-style Men in Black, less the alien-style Men in Black, showing up and standing around and looking at people and observing them just around town in Point Pleasant. And also showing up at people's houses and being like, tell us everything you know. Please stop telling anyone else anything that you know. And he starts having those encounters also of people showing up at the house and being like, shut up. There is also a read where Indrid Cold himself sort of fits the other sort of version of Men in Black, where it is people in dark suits who look nearly human but are not human.
Yeah.
Indrid Cold fits that pretty neatly. So when we eventually do come around and do a full episode on Black, keep that in mind.
Will do. But of course, he's a man in blue and or green.
blue and green, but then later in black. Those two guys who see him get out of the Volkswagen, he's wearing an all blacks.
Interesting.
So he switches it up. Let me read you one more quote from the book.
Okay.
Often I'm asked. This is chapter 18, if anyone wants to cross-reference later. You can find the book online. Often I'm asked, is there any organized resistance to UFOs? Yes. There certainly are organized groups who have set out to debunk the flying saucers, and more so, the contactees. As I write this book, I keep getting phone calls warning me to stop. They have even called my wife at her place of employment, telling her to stop me, or they will. These people have also called my friends, making the same threat. I have no way of knowing who these people are, yet they are calling too often to be crank calls. Several times I have written material that has disappeared from my home. When I leave home for any reason, I always lock all doors and windows, yet several times when we returned home, we found our home had been ransacked, drawers pulled out, paper strewn all over the floor, and valuable tapes missing, and my tape recorder broken. When this happened, the police were seemingly undisturbed. I have mailed letters, dropped personally by me in the post office letterbox, that have failed to reach their destination. I have been visited by men who would not identify themselves, but told me to stop talking of space people or flying saucers. Yes, you can bet there is organized resistance against the UFOs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. So he's describing basically getting gang stalked, it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. He's got people showing up in his driveway trying to watch him meet with Indrid Cold, and then he's got a whole other group of people who are showing up telling him to shut up. And it haunts him for the rest of his life, really. People are watching him, phone calls, those things disappearing from his house. Eventually he loses his job. Eventually his wife divorces him.
Jesus.
He ends up moving away from mineral wells just to get away from people knowing who he is. He moves back in the last few years of his life. Oh, John Keel actually wrote about going to visit him a few years after the first sighting, and he said that he was had all his curtains drawn and he was hiding in his house and was getting clearly very paranoid about all the people harassing him. He does move back for the last couple of years of his life. Died in 1990.
Wow. So when did? Wait, I'm sorry. Sorry if you said this already. When did the visitations by Indrid Cold stop?
I don't know that I have a number on that. The book is published in. Let's see if I can pull up a copyright date on. It's not that long after, and he, at some point, because of all the harassment, just refuses to continue talking about it in public.
So he might still be getting visited by Indrid Cold, but he's just not telling anyone.
True.
Well, he's dead now.
Well,
but maybe.
Jim, yes.
Can aliens go to hell? I don't know.
Listen, or is it all part of the same interdimensional product of our human consciousness making manifest in ways that our tiny brains can only comprehend, given our cultural circumstances? Okay, who knows?
1971 is when the book is published, so they at least hang out for 5 years.
Okay.
And then
they plow beautiful fields together.
They plow beautiful space fields, and then he refuses to talk about it for the rest of his life.
Well, I mean, sad.
Yeah,
it is sad, and that's why people don't want to come forward, talk about their genuine, real alien experience,
their love affairs with grinning men.
Yeah,
from Lanulos.
Yeah. Yeah, what's behind that smile?
I would love it if there's just John Keel goes talking to people, and there's Lanulos. Oh, you mean that bar down the way
motel,
where all the boys hang out? Lanulos? All right. I mean, Woody's over there all the time. He's got a fellow with him. Looks real happy. Listen, so I'm sorry. Is that the end? Is there more?
That's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, dang, Woody Darrenberg, Darren Fuffle, Darrenberg.
Dernberger.
Oh, here we go. Oh, we're getting another call. Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
God.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold
goodness.
on. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Yes.
Call from.
Oh, I know who it's from.
It's Strange Beeps and Boops.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. You're on the air. Hello?
I just wanted to call to put forward a thought. Since you're talking about Men in Black and, people possibly being from other UFOs, aliens, other dimensions, whatever. What if these Men in Black was part of Project Blue Book and part of a psyop to make actual witnesses of real phenomena doubt themselves, and therefore make them look crazy so that everybody else thinks they're crazy, and therefore, hey, they must be crazy, therefore the UFO that they saw must be a figment of their imagination.
Sure.
So there are no real UFOs, because who would believe, they're talking about this crazy Men in Black person who looks like a crazy loon, smiling loon, or someone who talks about crazy shit.
Sure.
So wait, you're saying that the Indrid Cold is entirely a psyop to discredit legitimate witnesses to UFOs, right?
Could be. Could be.
Listen, I like it. You're just asking questions. I love it.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jim, you did the research. What do you think of this idea?
It's hard for me to write off all of Indrid Cold as a false flag, but I do buy that sort of idea, at least as a pitch for Men in Black more generally. I could see that there being some kind of outreach group whose main goal is to make people look like cranks.
Like even further, you can even say that maybe the Men in Black themselves, maybe they are legitimate, people from other dimensions, actual aliens and all that, and they just do crazy shit because they know that people won't believe them. And that way they can continue doing whatever they're here for, because no one will believe them anyway.
Maybe. I mean, then you're getting into this whole, like, trickster mentality. That a lot of not only just Men in Black, but various paranormal entities display. We talked a little bit about it for Skinwalker Ranch, which I will never stop bringing up, much to Patrick's chagrin.
Interdimensional Bigfoot that travels through portals.
I'm glad you were listening that episode. But that's go ahead. No, go.
There was a case before of a Men in Black sighting before a subway disaster, a subway accident, where a Men in Black just was acting said something very odd, said something like, engine powering down, and said it in a very weird way, stepped off the subway derailed, and many people died and everything. And I mean, no one believed the person who said he saw it, but
I mean, the
It
question
went
is,
down as a the people who believe it, it got recorded along with the lore of Men in Black and the Mothman, actually, because that's where I read about it when I was looking into the Mothman.
Mm-hmm. Well, so you're firmly in the camp of there's a of like Indrid Cold equals Men in Black equals or maybe not equals, but adjacent to Mothman. Like these are all a part of a singular event or singular idea.
Well, Men in Black sightings have been kind of some Men in Black sightings have been linked to Mothman sightings.
For sure.
If you read some of the literature.
Yeah.
Like
we have
some of the witnesses of the Mothman have been visited by Men in Black or tailed by Men in Black.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah. So okay. So okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I always find more compelling the Men in Black stories that where they do seem much like Indrid Cold to be these like people pretending to be people or like entities pretending to be humans to a certain extent and having extra teeth, yes, extra bits about them. But it's I guess in the way that Jim has laid it out, I mean, it does feel somewhat separate to the Mothman story, but related.
I think when we oh, sorry, I distracted myself. I'm hearing my echo.
Oh, sorry.
I think when we get into Men in Black in a deeper way, we can sort of look back at how Indrid Cold may fit that archetype, because I think we can interpret Indrid Black through that lens, potentially, as sort of a Man in Black who's on a slightly different brief, but is maybe the same kind of fella. There is also a link in the book, if you want to go that direction with old Woody Dernberger, where he talks about there's a few different, actually what we're looking at right now is the spaceships of two different species, interspace species. There's a couple more in the book, but there's also a whole chapter about humanoids who are defined as looking mostly like people, but having glowing red eyes and feathers instead of hair, which you can definitely read as a potential Mothman explanation. He describes them as sort of meddlesome and bad at understanding property rights. They just show up and take things, and they're pests for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's fascinating. Anything else for us, or do you want to throw out there? Any other theories? I mean, so as you said, you think the potential psyop Men in Black and or related entity to Indrid Cold.
No, that was the main thought I had, was that either a psyop on either Project Blue Book or an offshoot. I mean, obviously Project Blue Book is not running anymore, so they say, or could be a psyop of whatever's visiting us from wherever or whenever.
Future Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
Future CIA. Time CIA. That's what I'm saying. That's right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's a definite real possibility in terms of the story of it all. If it ain't just a bunch of hooey. But I think that the idea of like like government agents being like, hey, shut the fuck up. We're testing out ships from Cerebus out here. You know, classic maneuver, I'd say.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you for calling in. Thank you for your comment. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah. Long time listener, second time caller.
Nice.
Thank you so much. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Another fantastic call. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
That was from Papa TV, who you can tell where I get all of my passion for the paranormal. For there. I mean, I think it's an interesting thought. Like the gang stalking and all of that does seem to lend itself to an idea of somebody trying to silence Darren Berger. I'm saying his name wrong.
Darren Berger.
Dermer.
Darren Berger.
Nailed it. That's it. The
Woody.
Patrick, you just got leaned in to your fucking camera like Darren Berger.
Darren Berger, Dio.
All right. But yeah, I think that's a compelling argument, and it could be a little psyop there. I mean, what do you think, Jim? You've pitched a couple of ideas about Indrid Cold. What is the nature of Indrid Cold?
I'll tell you what I think is the most interesting for me is listening to that interview. And if you guys found this compelling and have 30 minutes at some point, I think it's a charming enough interview to listen to while you're doing something. He sounds like a man who has seen a thing and is confused about it. Looking through the book, it feels more fabulous. And I don't know how much that's him and how much it's the guy who sort of transcribed the book or wrote the book based on his stories. But he seems genuine to me, the guy. Also eventually kind of destroyed by this whole thing. It
Right.
feels like at no point in his arc does it seem to me like he is looking for people to be like, look at that guy. It seems like he's like, a crazy thing just happened to me, and then he's talking about it. So I don't know. It reads to me like a guy who something happened to him and he was confused about it, certainly.
Yeah.
So I have no reason to doubt that Indrid Cold came to the world in a flying kerosene lamp.
Fair enough, Patrick. What do you think? After you've now heard all of this and you've heard the various theories?
I definitely believe it was real to Woody, at the very least.
Yeah,
it was real to him, and he suffered for what might have been an intergalactic love affair.
Right,
honestly,
beautiful.
It has the makings of a really good romance novel somewhere in there.
True. There's judging by the amount of Mothman erotica books that I have seen in editing our latest short, I got to imagine there's a few Indrid Cold erotica stories out there based on this.
He said his name was Cold, but he was anything but cold.
Oh my God.
If there's not any, the market's there.
Let's go.
Jim, I think you just found your third act calling here. Like you retired.
Oh, yeah.
On some erotica. Novels.
Science fiction erotica.
There you go. You're gonna be a new Chuck Tingle.
Great.
You think it was real to Woody, but you don't think it's real. It would be real to Patrick.
Actually, I think it's the most realistic thing we've talked about out of everything, including
really.
I definitely believe the government would try to discredit people who actually have had encounters. Like Jim said, the Woody guy, he suffered for letting people know about this. Like he gained nothing from this, and
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the skeptic in me is gonna say it didn't happen, and he was at the very least paranoid, and you know, things kind of devolved. But I mean, who knows? He might have gone. He might have gone on a 6-month vacation with.
Did he
Indrid
say
Cold?
Yeah. What did he say he was doing during that 6 months, Jim?
I don't see his recantation of that. I see he does talk about going to various planets. They do go to Venus. They go to Lanulos. They also go on some trips where they just kind of cruise around and look at Earth. They whip past, you know, like Flight of the Navigator, right? They're whipping around, just seeing the Jersey Turnpike fly by or whatever. He talks about some of the trips that he goes on, and he talks about visiting other planets, but he never specifically references the time where he's gone for 6 months. That's just a thing I saw referenced, sort of from the family's perspective.
Oh, oh wow. Okay, interesting. Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story. I like the version I want Indrid Cold to be is the like is basically a more interesting version than the one we got in Mothman Prophecies. Like, I like the spooky, I can read your mind, I know what's going to happen in the future. I'm doing, you know, having sharing all these things. The version, like, I did not know that much about this account before coming in, and this version feels very very much like what am I thinking of? Day the Earth Stood Still inspired science fiction, you know, alien comes down, you know, with the kind of a message of humanity, and instead of like, you know, landing the ship on the Washington Monument lawn or the White House lawn, like, it lands the ship in front of this guy's house and says, you know, I'm looking for something. Right.
There is another story in the book where he and I think his boss are driving on a business trip, and he feels Indrid Cold in his brain, and he said his boss also felt something, but couldn't communicate. But he feels something in his brain, and he's like, "What's happening?" And then he looks and he sees a ship hovering over like a lake or something nearby, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And Indrid's like, "I'm just showing people the ship, just cruising around, letting people see it." And then Indrid starts laughing and then quoting to Woody things that people are saying as he's like, "Oh, this couple just saw us," and the woman is screaming and asking her husband what's happening, and she just wet her pants, and he starts laughing. He's loving it. He loves it.
So he's just like,
he's not
showing
coming to
off.
Earth with like a message of hope, really. He's here looking for something, but in the meantime, he's just like, these people freak out so bad when
Maybe
they see
he's
me.
just searching for a good time, dudes. Maybe he's just
seems
coming
like it,
down to have a party, like blow some people's minds, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I do kind of like that version of Indrid Cold. I'm not gonna lie. I like that. I was gonna say I like the spooky version of Indrid Cold. I like that.
Sure.
Like, solidly, you know. But I mean, listen, as a rockin' party dude, just chilling,
Right?
Yeah.
Party boy Indrid Cold. Pretty fun.
Yeah. You're always gonna have a hot and heavy time when Indrid Cold comes to your planet.
Yeah.
Oh my God. See, Matthew McConaughey could play him in a movie then.
Oh,
perfect.
my God, right?
Yeah.
Right? The best thing about Earth things is that the older you get, they stay the same.
All right.
I don't remember what the fuck the quote is. Some weird pedophilic quote from McConaughey in that fucking movie. Anyway, well, guys, I think we did it. Did we do it?
I think we did it. I think we did it.
We did it. I think we did it, guys. I mean,
Thanks everyone for doing that with us.
Of course. Thank you, Jim, for educating us about the mysterious man, Indrid Cold. I will say the pictures of him are very spooky.
They're all spooky. And as I said earlier, I think that's largely pulling from that other story with the two teens who found his smile super disconcerting.
Well,
but,
it is funny because he feels prototypical to, like, Jeff the Killer or like other like creepypasta-y looking.
There are a lot of like
characters.
smiling mans who
Yeah.
pop up in other places, and I read somewhere that somebody tried to find references to that archetype before those two kids next to the Jersey Turnpike, and they couldn't. So it does seem
Interesting.
like that is the genesis of that archetype.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the proto. This is the proto Jeff the Killer, the proto smiley creepypasta face that you see. That's wild. Anyway, I'm gonna close the phone lines. The phone lines are being closed. Thanks again to both of our callers, Brady, Papa TV, for calling in, sharing your stories, sharing your theories.
Remember that
sharing-
even though the phone line is closed, your mom can still call me.
That's right.
Jim's line is always open. Guys, appreciate you hanging out. Next week, we're going to do something that we haven't done on the show yet. We've talked about aliens. We've talked about cryptids. We've talked about stuff. We're getting into some dark, real history.
What do you mean real?
We're going to be.
What are you
I'm sorry.
Versus what we just
Whoa,
listened to? Yeah.
Whoa, I'm so sorry I spoke.
Ya
out of turn.
bum.
You're so right. I'm so sorry. That was the CIA psyop having worked out. You know, I'm still deprogramming myself from this.
You gotta.
Old blue book
Sorry,
Dio.
let me say this again. Yeah, that's right. We're going to be diving into more down-to-earth events, if you will.
Nice.
We'll be talking about the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. We're going into true crime. I'll be leading us into that sordid story with updates. Yes, I do follow their socials. Yes, I am one of those weirdos. Am I enabling her post-murder renaissance?
Well, spoiler alert.
I might be part of the problem. I know. Spoiler alert. But we'll be talking about the details of the case, what's happened afterwards, most recent updates. It'll be more, like I said, less in the wooey woo space and more of the true crime area.
The true space.
The truey truth. Yeah, that's right. Less wooey woo, more truey true. Hey, listen, I believe every bit of Brady's stories tonight. I think the truest thing we've talked about tonight was Brady's stories. Those stories
genuinely
were
upsetting.
fucking horrifying. Honestly. And thanks again, Brady, for sharing that. But yeah, we'll be back next week, Friday, 11:59 p.m.
For another 3-hour, 2-hour show.
For another 3-hour, 2-hour show. That's right. We're like Gilligan's Island. It was supposed to be a 3-hour show or 2-hour show, and we ended up stranded on an island with that guy. Anyway, guys, it was a blast. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody in the chat. Thank you for everything. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.
Tune in next time for more